What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. See how long my beard is? I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up to my friends and family? What up to everybody in the building? Primetime said last night was wild. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it was a pretty good show. They kept trying to bait me into being um the older or maybe younger me. And I was just chilling. I wasn't really interested in doing so. But we here today. And so Chris Cunningham says, "Oh, we home today." Um my life is a series of events and appointments, and that's one of the reasons why I have to make adjustments and I have to be able to move and go on the fly and stuff like that. So I got a lot of stuff that I got to take care of today. One of which I'm gonna go and shoot. I was in the streets this past weekend and ran into some people that I know locally or people that know me locally, and they was like, "Yo, Ton, what up, man? You know what I'm saying? Whatever, so on and so forth." And so we was out and about, and we was kind of partying. I was partying pretty hard this past weekend, and ran into some guys, and it was like, "Man, you should pull up, come up to the let's shoot a podcast, let's shoot an event." And I don't really do like podcasts and stuff or other people's panels and stuff like that anymore. But they was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, good energy. And they asked me, you know what I'm saying? We ran into it in person and they, you know what I'm saying? They asked me to pull up. And so I said, "Yeah, I'll pull up." And so on Monday, you know what I'm saying? They text me and it was like, "Yo, you still gonna pull up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'm gonna pull up." So we doing a pre-record. I'm supposed to go and check that out. And so I'm trying to move my schedule around a little bit to still be able to accommodate tonight's show that we got to do on after hours, and you know what I'm saying, so all of that type of stuff. So just trying to make sure that I'm working to where nothing that I have going on is disrupted, while at the same time showing love to the people locally, and that's in the city that's doing their thing. So shout out to y'all. I'll give y'all the insight on where that's going to be at once I'm done recording it and once we get into it, and we're going to get it out. Chris Cunningham says, "Did you vet them out effectively?" I know who these people are. Of course, I checked out their stuff. I know what's going on. I move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I move accordingly. Five Brown says, "Nah, I don't trust it, AD." You don't trust what? This is my city. I know who's who. I know what's happening. I know what's happening in certain spots. I know what's going on. I know who's who. So we all good. Everything is good. What is it that y'all don't trust? So y'all okay? So are y'all saying that I can't do podcasts anymore. Oh man. Well, if it makes you feel any better, they was bag chasers also, so maybe that'll help you out a little bit. Let me read some of y'all cash apps and super chats. First of all, I want to say shout out to Rand Wilson. Rand Wilson, I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Mike That Dude, shout out to Mike That Dude, says thank you, AD, for the value that you bring. Spencer Campbell says good morning, AD and the bag chaser. Shout out to Spencer Campbell. Y'all don't want me to do nothing no more. Sometimes you go based off your instincts. This is not me traveling somewhere. This is me in my own city doing what I do. And so I'm very, very, very comfortable. In my own city. They show me love. Y'all, they are just a brown girl in America, spoiled in a mug. They be whining. Oh my God, I don't trust that Anton is going to start at the time that he said he was going to start. I added the context yesterday. of how I run the show. We did the start time at 10:05 today. I waited for some people to gather, and then we got the show popping. Y'all spoiled as hell. Y'all act like badass kids. Chris Cunningham says, can we take 10 minutes to understand that Proverbs 29, 1 through 27 relates to today activity of life, and that 15 to 17 is why our kids are the way that they are today? I'm going to have to read that. I don't know that right off the top of my head. Curtis Taylor, shout out to Chris Cunningham. Curtis Taylor says, stop by a Shinola watch shop at Somerset Mall. Oh, so you was over on the rich side. It's two different sides on Somerset for those of y'all that's not familiar with what goes on here in Metro Detroit. And so it's one side that got like the food court at the third floor and the regular shoes, JD Sports, and it also got some high-end shops and stuff like that. It got the Tesla store, got the Apple store, got all of the regular stores on one side, and then you go across a crosswalk that is over Big Beaver Road, and you go to the other side, and the other side got Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Lulu. You know, it got all of the Bloomingdale's, or not Bloomingdale's. Is it Bloomingdale's? It got all of the higher stores, and so on that side also it got Shinola on the second floor over near Lululemon, and so that was the side that you was on. You see, you don't think I know what you're talking about. And I'm kicking myself for sleeping on their beautiful watches. I was amazed by the craftsmanship. Shout out to my city, Detroit born. Shout out to Curtis Taylor. Yeah, I love Shinola watches. I got one. Actually, I got one from the Pistons. I might go pick up another one at some point, but we get into it. So we got a full show lined up for y'all today, as usual. Let me go over some of the subjects that I want to cover. Johnny Max has finally got to catch one from the very beginning. Let's go. I'm going to be honest with you. AR is back. Shout out to Johnny Mac. He says, shout out to the Somerset collection. I don't really go to Somerset no more. My daughter goes there. I don't really go to Somerset no more. My thing is, maybe I'm too loyal. If it's not in the city, if it's not within city limits, I don't really mess with it. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons that I shop at Gucci, is because Gucci is literally in the city. I can see where the street is that goes to Gucci right now. That's one of the reasons. Like, if it's not super local, then I got to go out of my way to go and shop there or do something there, then I'm not really like that big on it. I'm really more of a local dude. And so if it's within city limits, that's where I kind of move. That's how I kind of move and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not for everything. Chris Manu says, how you feeling today, big dog? I feel okay. I think I'm going to go and pick up the lamb for the weekend. Or I might ride out on the Cybertruck, or I might even pick up the Hellcat. I might ride the Hellcat. I don't know. I don't know. I might do the Hellcat jailbreak. I might trade it in. What would I get if I traded it in? What car is available that I would trade in the Challenger jailbreak Hellcat, or what should I trade it in? I can't think of anything that's on the market today that I would trade in my car for. Hell no, I don't want that AMG. That AMG is trash, man. Trash, trash, trash. The Rumblebee truck, nah, we already got it. Nah, don't do it, AD. We already got a TRX. I miss you too, Tabby. It's been it's been going a lot going on over here this way. I would love to tell you about it and get your expert opinion. All right, bet. Email me and I'm gonna send you my number, or DM me right now and I'll send you my number, and then we'll figure it out. Just pull out the land for the weekend. The new vet is crazy. Ford GT, yeah, but you would have to go and find one, and it would have to be those cars is hard to get, bro. The soccer mom van that you wanted. Well, that's why I got the nav is my daily. All right, y'all, we got to get into the show. All right, so let me give y'all a little bit of insight on what I want to cover. May not get to it all as usual, but these are some of the things I want to cover. I want to cover the Meta layoffs. All right, we're going to get there. The U.S. is charging Castro with murder. I want to get that. Jeff Bezos did an interview with CNBC where he talked about people wanting to tax the rich. I want to talk about that. Byron Allen did an interview with Bloomberg TV where he bought BuzzFeed and he bought a percentage of like 11% of a company. I forgot what the company was. A landlord was caught getting boxed on camera. Mojo Brooks, the comedian. So there was this guy named That Way Josh that tried to hire Mojo Brooks, and Mojo Brooks gave him a price that he didn't appreciate, and he started to go off. And so I want to talk about that. I also want to include that into the conversation tonight on After Hours. And then I want to get y'all opinion on some stuff. Rick Ross continues to seem like he's obsessed with Drake. And so it's a lot going on everywhere. And if it's anything that y'all want to suggest that y'all think that I should cover, if it's meaningful, then I'll cover that also. All right. I like Mojo Brooks. I think that Mojo Brooks is incredibly funny. All right, y'all. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the Meta layoffs. Let me see something. Oh, hold on. What is this? What is this? All right. Before I get to the Meta layoffs, I got to share this with y'all because this literally just popped up on my timeline. And so I got to share this with y'all really quickly. Chicago, still going into Chicago. Hold on, wait a minute. Wow. We're going to head over to Chicago. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it, y'all.
Family of a Chicago police officer tells us he's lucky to be alive after being attacked by several suspects in McKinley Park. Officer Kevin Mangan has a long recovery road ahead because of the injuries he suffered. In an interview you'll see only on CBS News Chicago tonight, his family tells our Jermon Terry what happened. Jermon is live at Chicago Police Headquarters now.
What up, Lex?
Erica, tonight, two people, both a man and woman, are in custody. Charges are pending for beating this Chicago police officer. The attack so bad, the cop's teeth were knocked out. But the officer's family insisting he was targeted simply because he wore the uniform. Tuesday night near 37th and Marshfield, just off Ashland, this frantic call hit police radio.
10-1 EMS for a police officer.
The officer needing medical attention, Officer Kevin Mangan, after police say he was attacked on the job. The officer's mother received a call telling her
that he was assaulted and in a fight, but it was really bad.
Officer Mangan, according to family, was first sucker punched by a man wearing brass knuckles.
Kevin was writing a ticket and he had brass knuckles. So he was arrested with brass knuckles. He had brass knuckles. And I'm pretty sure brass knuckles are illegal in every state.
Yet the family says when the 29-year-old officer was hit with those brass knuckles, those blows left his mouth badly damaged.
He had missing teeth and they were embedded in the roof of his mouth.
And his face is swollen, so it was all mostly facial injuries.
Chicago police tell us the officer responded because 3 people pulled up and blocked an ambulance from leaving a separate scene in McKinley Park. When Officer Mangan started writing that ticket, police say one woman started banging on his squad car, then another man and woman started attacking him with those brass knuckles.
All that takes is one punch. I mean, you could kill somebody. He's lucky that he's alive.
Since the attackers were not part of the original call, the family insisting their loved one was targeted simply because he wears the badge. Listen to what they say the man yelled during the attack.
A bunch of expletives and how much he beats up POs, and he likes to beat up POs.
The family says the lack of respect law enforcement faces daily is growing, and the message must be sent.
To me, this is attempted murder, and I hope that that's what he gets charged with.
Yeah, I think that this is attempted murder also. 100%. 100%. This is definitely attempted murder, and they should charge it as such. Now, of course, the wokest people in the world, especially all of our blackety blacks, they won't address this. Remember, the culture is going to pick and choose the things that's meaningful to them. So, whereas our politicians across the board, supposed to be both Republican and Democrat, are supposed to be supportive of law enforcement and police officers, and this is why Trump get the respect that he gets from our military and our police officers, is because he never misses a chance or an opportunity to acknowledge those that serve and those that put their life on the line on a regular basis. This is a seed that's been planted. Let me just keep it 100 with y'all. This is a seed that's been planted since I was born, since the 80s. As long as I can remember, there's always been narratives. There's always been a promotion of F the police. Doesn't matter if you're from that neighborhood. Doesn't matter if you're a good cop. It doesn't matter if you're a good person. It doesn't matter if you have kids. Don't matter if you're black or white. Don't matter if you're a woman or a man, old or young. The narrative has always been F the police. And that's why the person was yelling, I beat up COs or POs. I believe beat up police officers. The narrative since I was young, since I was a kid, since Ice-T, NWA, all of the different rappers that's come along has always been F the police. And what that has done, it has created a narrative that you are defined. Remember, all of this is a construct, right? So everything that we experience in life, whether we hate a person or whether we love a person, is based off of a construct. The construct is then used to create a narrative. And then even though it may not necessarily benefit a group of people or may not benefit society as a whole, it may benefit one certain group of people in some narrative that allows for them to be able to capitalize off of it. So, for example, you may have politicians that align with this nonsense, and then as a result, that'll allow for them, as long as they continue to spew this nonsense, as long as they're able to spew the nonsense, they can continue to get elected. You know? Like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? Because we have to start being thinkers, and that's what I want to teach y'all to do. For example, defund the police. That was a narrative. That was promoted. That was something that was capitalized on by politicians. This is something that Brandon Johnson himself, remember, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, former school teacher, ran on the premise of defunding the police. So if your basic premise is not to be supportive of police officers, what makes you think that we're supposed to believe that you care about police officers? Every police officer that gets killed, every police officer that gets maimed, every police officer who gets hit with brass knuckles, I don't believe that the mayor of Chicago actually cares about police officers, because it's hard for me to believe you when you were the person that was saying defund the police. You were elected based off of defunding the police. And so now we have this, especially in Black culture, it's embedded in us to say, F the police, we don't love you. The fact that you put on the uniform makes you a bad person. It's a construct. The uniform makes you a bad person. Ain't that crazy to think about? The uniform that you put on in order to keep the peace or to solve for problems in the community or keep criminals out is what makes you a bad person in the eyes of somebody that has never met you before. Before they even meet you, you're a bad person. Before they know anything about you, you're a bad person. I'm showing up because you're doing something wrong, but I'm bad and I'm wrong. So you got to maim me and try to kill me because I got on a uniform. That's crazy. It is absolutely insane. Never mind the fact that in any situation, right, in most circumstances, anytime that there's a great relationship with police officers in any township, any city, small or large, usually it's a better place to live. When there are better relationships, meaning that the people respect police officers and police officers want to show up to do their job, there's usually a better place to live. It's crazy. It's insane. And so now the very ones that promoted this to y'all and pushed this onto y'all, guess what? They don't even live in the neighborhoods where you have to suffer because the police presence are diminishing, because not only are police officers leaving, but they're also removing the budget. And now you got safety issues. And then you'll say, hey man, why y'all not showing up when we call y'all? Well, why should they? The DoorDash person don't even want to show up. The Ubers don't even want to show up to take you to where you want to go. What makes you think that the police officers that's trying to get home every day and you walking around with guns and brass knuckles want to show up and put their life on the line and you don't even respect them? I cannot tell you the amount of Uber drivers that say, oh, I don't even go into that neighborhood, or I don't pick up from over there because it's crazy over there. I can't tell you the amount of DoorDash drivers that deliver food to me and say, what is this for? Because you'll give them an extra cash tip. Oh man, you made my day. I didn't even know. They don't even want to deliver. Not only is it unsafe, but they know that you cheap. They know you cheap. You'll order $200 worth of food and give a $1 tip. And then you wonder why you can't get service. You wonder why ain't nobody checking for you. You wonder why you can't even get the cable guy to show up, to put the cable up. And you wonder why. You wonder why. You ain't never got to worry about no salespeople running and knocking on the door. The Jehovah's Witness people hate coming into your neighborhood. Everything about your neighborhood, and you don't even want to call. You don't even want to tell on the people that's destroying the neighborhood. You put your hard-earned money into your property. Your parents put their hard-earned money into the property, and you willing to let it just destroy itself and diminish because you trying to stay too cool to the culture. You don't even respect your parents. You don't even respect your grandparents. You're more loyal to the culture. I seen a video where somebody was, people always doing deep dives and thoughts or whatever. And I seen a video of a guy, and he was questioning why I say that I'm a Christian first, or I celebrate my faith, or I put my faith above color, the construct of a color. And then he said, well, Christianity itself is a construct, right? Everything that we believe in this world, everything that we celebrate, everything that we subject ourselves to is technically a construct. But the criticism was for my belief in God and my not identifying myself based off of what the culture wants me to identify myself off of first, right? And I find that hilarious because everything that I see mostly within the culture that's celebrated is wrong. Yet I see Christianity being the most persecuted faith on the face of this earth. Even when you proclaim that Jesus is king, right? Let's say that somebody doesn't agree with your lifestyle, or somebody doesn't agree with something that you say. What they try to do is demonize you. I don't even see this happening within the Muslim faith. A dude could literally kill somebody and go to prison for it. And as long as he converted himself over to being a Muslim, you respect him. Ain't that crazy? You could take somebody's life. It's a jailhouse religion in a lot of instances. And then when you convert yourself over to being a Muslim, you get a full clean slate. But anybody that declares Jesus as king, don't matter how good you've been, for how long you've been, no matter how many people that you help, no matter how much you align yourself, no matter how much you understand the word, oh man, but you know what? How can you be a Christian and you don't necessarily do this, or I don't believe you in that, or y'all don't do this and that, no. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because what y'all gonna have to understand, even through this cop getting his teeth knocked in, is that you can't save people from themselves. You're going to have to let them kill each other, burn themselves down, because you're not going to be able to convince people to do things differently outside of what it is that they've already made up in their mind that they're going to do. These is grown folks. You think that me going and setting up donating to a recreation center inside of the hood is going to change you from robbing that dude because you want his Hellcat? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm just telling you, it's not going to happen. You got to figure out, and this is why we got the bag chasers, how to align yourself, and I say this all the time, with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Your life is going to be happier. You're not going to be stressed. You're not going to be trying to figure out why people turned on you. People turn on me all the time. People switch up on me all the time. I don't trip about it no more. You know what I do? I dig in deeper with the people that I'm aligned with. My family, I've been saying this since y'all have known me, my family is the people that are going in the direction that I'm going in. Shout out to the chasers. Shout out to the chasers. It includes everybody. Everybody. My family are the people that are aligned. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were so hurt. They were so hurt. And they said, Anton, I don't understand. And I said, what don't you understand? And they probably watching this right now. And they said, my family ain't happy for me. And I said, what do you mean? They said, I just got this good news and I tried to share it with my family and they hate me for it. And I said, but when you go over there and you hang out with them in the hood and all of this stuff, and they want to blow smoke all everywhere and stuff, and they know that you don't align with that, if you start to play spades with them, or if you start to get in the dirt with them, they start to be feeling a little bit more comfortable, right? They say, yeah. I said, but when you start to have some successes outside of what they are capable of getting at the time, instead of them saying, well, how did you get it? Or how can we celebrate you? And why don't we continue to push you? Because we know that you're doing good things. And then we going to follow in your footsteps. They hate you for it. They say, yep. I said, that's not your family. Just because they're your blood don't mean that they're your family. Just because you black don't mean that you have to align with black culture. Just because you white don't mean that you got to align with liberal white culture. Just because you Asian don't mean that you got to align with your crazy family, right? Your pathway is based off of, people do it all the time. You could be raised in a great household. You can be raised in a church. And you know what people do? They don't align themselves based off of what they learned in the church. They say, you know what? I was raised in a church, but I don't go to church anymore. So it's okay for you to leave on one side, but it's not okay for you to leave on the other side. It's okay for you to leave the thing that was best for you to find a new path. But it's not okay for you to say, you know what? I'm not a part of the culture because the culture don't align with my values. People are raised in the church. They lead a church. And we give that a pass. But if I'm raised in the hood, for some reason, I have some obligation to go back because I owe the hood something. How? Where'd that come from? When did I start owing somebody something? When did I have to start owing somebody something? Somebody says, dude said you don't have to align with white liberal culture. You don't. Listen. All right, you want to know something, Nick? Let me tell you something. most of what we see happening, even in Black culture, the worst things for us, here's the real hack, right? And this is one of the reasons why I say that. Most of what you see happening, even in Black culture, was adopted by liberal white culture. They taught you, you never divested yourself from it. Nah, you about to have me going on a whole nother 10-minute tangent, trying to teach you something, trying to unlearn you from the BS that you think that you taught yourself. You were programmed to be a dummy. Not you, Nick, but specifically people that are watching this that think that they have free thought. All of these constructs was given to you. You don't even think for yourself. The reason why you think that your neighborhood is ghetto because somebody told you that your neighborhood was ghetto. And so you never have any respect for it. They taught you subconsciously how to have respect for their stuff. That's why you say phrases like, I'm gonna move out there with the white folks. You don't say, I'm gonna move out where people respect their property and they care about their kids and they want to do right by what's going on in society and they want to create a cohesive environment where people get along and you love your neighbors. You say, man, I'm moving out there with the white folks. Where do you think you got that from? Where do you think you got it from? It's a mentality that you've already believed and it's reinforced through the culture. And that's why you think that living amongst white people, regardless of what their character is better than being in the hood. The value of something is based off of your belief in it. The reason why the hood is devalued is not because the land is any different than the land that's out there. Actually, it's more inconvenient for you to drive out there in order to get back home. It take you a whole 2 hours out of your life force every single day in order to get there. Is because of your belief in it. You treat it the way that you treat it because of the way that you believe, and it was something that was programmed in you, not something that you think for yourself. And guess what? Here's the real caveat. Here's the proof. You don't believe me? Why do we say it's gentrified when white people, simply based off of the color of your skin, if white people come in and move into your neighborhood, by default, subconsciously, you automatically think that it's a better neighborhood and they're gentrifying it. The color of their skin in your mind gives it more value. How? As crazy as it sounds. And again, I'm not a blackity black, nor am I a victim Olympian. I believe in aligning myself with people that's based off of the content of their character. I believe in aligning myself based off of the content of your character. But subconsciously, gentrification is based off of a color skin. You've never seen black people move into a neighborhood, improving, and they call it gentrification. It's not called gentrification if black people go in and they improve it. I've built in majority black neighborhoods, majority black cities. They don't call it gentrification when you build a better home than everything else inside of the neighborhood. They don't say, oh man, the neighborhood is changing. You know what you'll hear? What made you build right there? Now, if a white person or a developer comes in and they say, you know what, I want to build in this particular area, they'll say, oh man, it must be on the rise. We need to speculate. They changing. It's evolving over here. If I come in and I pull up in my Lambo and I come to check on the property, they say, oh man, that's crazy. I have a big piece of land, a big piece of property, right? And I got a lot of property. I got a whole lot of land, a whole lot of property that I haven't even built on. And one of them, I'm speculating on whether or not I want to build my big house on it, right? Because it's over an acre big. And I'm like, man, I could build a master property right there, and that could be my forever home. That'll be the spot that I want to. And it's in a majority black area. Here's the crazy part about it. All of your blackity blacks usually move out to the white people when they get money. The more money I get, the more I invest inside of my community. And that's why I love Detroit. And so what I'm thinking about doing, I've been able to acquire a lot of land in this particular area to where I can basically zone it, have it zoned, or just build one big property on it, right? And anytime I talk to somebody in person and I say, yeah, man, I'm thinking about building a big house. And they say, oh, where are you thinking about building it? Birmingham, Royal Oak, this place, that place. And I said, no, I want to build it over here. I'm thinking about building it over there. They say, you know, you're going to have the biggest house in that city, right? What made you not want to move over there? It's like, so you'll question me if I want to invest in my own environment, in my own neighborhood, where the majority of the people, and it's not even based off of it being black, it's based off of the proximity, you know, to where I want to be at and what I think is going to make the most sense, right? But people will question your decision because they don't value it the way that you value it because of their perspective on what was given to them based off of whatever society says or the culture says makes the most sense. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. My life is literally an experiment. I live it like an experiment because I want to see it for myself, but I just put my own money up as a result of it. God bless the police officer who was hurt over in Chicago. Praying for the family. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I'm gonna read that something that Fox said earlier in a minute. Chris Cunningham says, now dive into my super chat earlier on Proverbs 29. You want me to read the verse on the stream? History Packet says, does that include family? It absolutely does. Good morning, Anton and the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to P. Shank. I appreciate you. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. AD, you going to the comedy show at the Fox Theater on the 23rd with Bill Bellamy, Country Wayne, D-Ray, and Tony Rock? No, I am not going to the comedy show at the Fox Theater. I will not be there. I'm going to be in the streets, but I'm not going to be at the comedy show. You saw a Florida man set his ex-girlfriend apartment on fire. I didn't see that. You can send it to me, though. Joe Budden Podcast had 25-tier Patreon reaction of Iceman. Said he made 200,000 plus. I believe it. I believe it. I think that he's smart. I think he was really, really smart to do that. And let me tell you why he was smart to do it. Because if he had did it on regular platforms or YouTube, they wouldn't have been able to play the audio. Or the audio eventually would have got removed. Joe Budden is really smart. He's really smart. He's able to leverage his audience very effectively. They're incredibly loyal to him. Incredibly loyal. Fa Brown says, landlords always get boxed for rent. My uncle got 20 properties and only gets rent for like 8 because he's screwing all the girls in his property so they don't ever pay their rent. Interesting that you say that, Fa.
Caught really making himself at home, a tenant's home, that is, in Westland. They called him over to do home repairs and instead caught him in the act with a woman. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack is tracking this one for us tonight. She joins us live in our newsroom with more, and this one just gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, you never know what you're walking into when you come into work here at Fox 2 Roop. Now, the tenants in Westland, they say that the tenant and his special little friend, they position themselves right in front of the security camera. We had to look at all that footage. Very clear what they're doing. We paid a visit to that tenant to see what he had to say for himself.
He walked back and forth through here naked. And
what did you do in the kitchen? I saw him come out with some kind of rag or something.
I don't know. I might have been trying to make a sandwich, but I don't know. It's creepy.
Their landlord was supposed to be removing dead birds from the attic. Instead, he was giving a lesson on the birds and the bees.
There needs to be criminal charges filed in some way, shape, or form, bro. There needs to be criminal charges. 100% criminal charges filed in this situation. I don't even know if I would be able to. I mean, really is nothing they could do about it because you may be stuck between a rock and a hard place if you don't have enough money to be able to move and go and do something else. But it's so much to dive into. It's so many ways to mine this out. There's so many ways to figure this out, right? Number one, to not have any sexual discipline to where you can't reserve yourself until you get back on your own property is crazy to me, right? That's number one. Number two, this might be one of the most disrespectful things that I've seen this year. There is nothing worse than somebody disrespecting the place that you lay your head at. Real talk. Real talk. There is nothing worse than somebody. Deion Sardine says, AD, if they pay for the house, I'll let it slide. No, this is one of the things. See, y'all don't want to let stuff slide when somebody call you out of your name, but you will let it slide for a couple dollars and somebody having sex on your couch in your living room and going to get a rag out of your kitchen to wipe themselves off so that they can restart themselves. The reason why I think that criminal charges, not just civil, the reason that I think that somehow, some way, criminal charges need to be assessed in this situation is because when you are in a position of power or you're in a position of leadership, you have to be held to a higher standard. There's more accountability on that. Whenever you're able to take advantage of in such a disgusting way of somebody's property, because he has all the leverage, right? Let's say, for example, that they went and told, which they did, they went and reported it to the authorities. They also called the news, right? They go and report it. What if he decides that he doesn't want to renew their lease now because he don't like the fact that they told on him, even though he was the one in the wrong? And that's why responsibility a lot of times is placed more on the person that has the power. That's why we hold politicians accountable, because when they take advantage of American taxpayers, it's a break in a circle of trust. You got this nasty hoe. I know we play nice on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I'm not cursing or anything like that. You got this nasty hoe. Don't know who she is. Don't know what she got. Don't know if she took a shower. Don't know if she got diseases. Don't know nothing. With her legs up on your couch, and your landlord is going to town on your couch in your place, and you never would have knew about it had you not had a secret camera set up for when he came over. That's crazy. I don't even go into my tenants' houses. Like once they lease out, it's only two circumstances, only two, that I ever show up to the house. And both of them, the person already know that I'm coming. The first one is not even showing up to the house. Maybe once or twice a year, I drive by to just make sure that the property look nice, that the neighbors is cool, and that it's still what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's not no crazy parties, or it's nothing that's destroyed, or that it's not burned down. I want to make sure that my house is okay. So I might drive by a couple times a year just to make sure that it's right when I'm in the neighborhood, when I'm in the area. Oh, let me drive by. Okay, it looks good. Everything is good. Cool. The second time that I'll show up is some cities every couple of years requires for you to give them an inspection of the house when they know that it's a rental property. And the reason that is because they have tenant laws, or they have requirements for you to be able to meet a certain expectation if it is a rental property. The windows have to be sealed properly, the insulation, fire alarms, all of this stuff. It's a whole list of things that has to be done. And so when you do that, you know what I'm saying? You let the tenant know, hey, you know, we're going to do this inspection on Friday or whatever, make sure everything is straight or whatever, blah, blah, blah. What do you need from me? And then you walk through what the city to make sure that they're not dinging you on certain things. Those are the only two reasons for me to show up at a rental property or to go into a rental property, even if it's something wrong, right? Let's say plumbing, or it's a leak on the roof, or the dishwasher goes out, or the washing machine needs to be replaced, or something like that. I'll just call the professional. Hey, listen, all right, cool. I'm gonna send a plumber over there. Is there somebody that's gonna be there? Okay, cool. They're gonna go over there and check it out, and everything is gonna be cool. And then I'll just pay the bill. Just pay the bill. I think that is, listen. I think that it's a red flag when you get a landlord that want to do everything themselves in the first place, let alone be in your crib when you're not there. I think that it's a red flag when you get a landlord that if you call them and say, hey, the tub is leaking or the floor is messed up or whatever, and they want to go to Home Depot and they want to come in and say, all right, cool, I'll be there to fix it or I'll be there to take care of it the next day. I don't like that. I think it's unprofessional. And I would never rent from that type of person. I would never rent from a landlord that want to do everything themselves and then want to come into the property themselves. Now, I know that that's a preference. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but that's just me personally. I think that everything should be done professionally and everything should be dealt with professionally. I don't like landlords that want to go to Home Depot and do it themselves. I don't think that that's cool. You said the still shot is wild. I know, it's crazy, ain't it? Facts. Five Brown says landlords always get boxed for rent. If you are a scumbag that is trading box for rent, I think that you should be sued, arrested of some sort. If you are taking, listen, first of all, you a sucker because I'm never putting no box before my money. Ain't no way that a woman can come to me and say, oh man, I'm gonna give you some box for rent. What? Man, if you don't go get my money, I don't even want to talk to you on that type of time. We ain't, I'm not sure that there is box out there that is worth my rent money. I want my money. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Give me my rent. This ain't no free for all. I still got to pay property taxes. A lot of people still got to pay their mortgages. A lot of people got to pay insurance. Man, I'm not paying you for no, I'm not giving up no rent for no box. What kind of scumbag is you? What? Nah, dog. Nope. I think your uncle is crazy, Fi. Unc is crazy. If Unc only getting rent from 8 people because he got 20 cribs and he for the other 12, he over there trading in box. Dog, the lack of sexual discipline in the world today is out of control. It's out of control. Businessmen can't keep their DNA pants. Women can't stop trading in mouth for rent. The lack of sexual discipline is insane. Fellas, I'm going to play the rest of this story. But if you can somehow, some way, in some way, shape, or form, control yourself, you will get rich. If you discipline yourself to not fall for every trick based off of somebody either opening their mouth or dropping their pants, you can get rich, bro. You can literally get rich by not falling victim to every single thing that's everybody that say, yo, I want to give you some box. You know how much money you lose chasing box, bro? I'll give you another hint. When you get productive enough and you start making a lot of money, you don't even care about box as much. Box becomes a luxury. Because you're unwilling to forego the thing that you could have made money for to go and get some box. When you get enough money, box got to be scheduled. It's got to be a matter of convenience. It's not even something that you go and do just because that's what you want to do. I'm keeping it 1,000 for you. When you get enough money, box is a convenience. It's not something that you chase. It's not something that you go do. It's something that's conveniently available when you want it. I'm gonna be so real with you, because if you think that let's say, for example, what do y'all make? What do people make? Let's say a person make $50 an hour, right? And he got a call off of work to go and accommodate you, right? Let me tell you why women would hate me, or maybe they would love me if I was single. any woman that would come into my life, I would let them know up front, I'm never, ever going to prioritize you over my business. I'm probably not even going to be able to spend a lot of time with you. So I don't know if this is something that you really want to entertain, because if you're looking for companionship, then you probably just going to be around me, but I'm not necessarily going to prioritize you. Now, that don't mean that we can't go out or whatever, or that you can't travel with me, or we can't go on trips, but you're going to have to learn how to be productive by yourself. And then I'll make sure that you're taken care of on the back end. You're not going to worry about nothing. We're not going to ever be in no financial burden. But if you're looking for me to schedule a whole day, I seen a woman tell my homeboy, are you going to take me? And he's just as productive as me, rich as hell, right? He might be richer than me, to be honest with you. A woman told him, he's single though. She said he was talking to this girl and he would see her when he see her, but it would be sporadic. Like it would be every once in a while. He said, yo, I think I want to see you. I don't remember. This was some weeks ago. He said, I think I want to see you on like Friday or something like that, or Saturday or whatever like that. And she said, oh man, are we going to go on a date? He said, oh no, I got to take care of some business, but I want to see you later on that night when I get done taking care of my business. She said, why we can't go on a date? I'm sitting there listening. I'm just cracking up because I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. She said, why we can't go on a date? He said, well, I got to take care of some business. You know how much? And when he got off the phone, he was like, bro, you know how much money I would lose by taking her out? His whole life philosophy is, you know what? What is it that you wanted? What is it that you wanted to do? Let me make sure I have that for you to, to kind of as a consolation prize of the fact that I can't mess up a bag. And no, Fabra, and it's not even that she's a P appointment. That's not even what it is. He likes her. He likes to spend time with her, but he doesn't want to lose anything as a result of having her in his life. That's what I was trying to tell them yesterday on a Relationship Wednesdays with Q. That women are an inconvenience for productive men, but you're not going to be the priority because I got stuff that I got to do. Now, the women that get it, the women that's not young-minded, the women that's been seen some things, the women that's been inconvenienced, the women that's had to go 50-50, the women that still had to pay their own bills while they're outside dating and trying to figure out what the young women, this is why you don't deal with young women. Young women don't understand that because they're all about quality time. So they want to spend more time with you, right? All women want to spend more time with you, but young women are a little bit more aggressive with that. The women that have seen some stuff and been through some stuff and know that life is hard, they're like, oh, no problem, baby. They find things to be productive in and they enjoy life. The women that have seen some things would rather you pay for them to go to the gym and have a good life and see you when it's convenient than to be sitting here fretting over whether or not you're spending a bunch of quality time. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I'd rather set you up a spa appointment for you to date yourself and then come and see me later on that day when it's convenient. And I like going out with you. It's not that I don't like going out with you. I just got a lot to do. And so I'd rather set you up a spa appointment, and that way I make my money, and then you also are in a good space, and then I'm going to see you later on that night, than to spend a whole day with you trying to entertain you, making sure that you having this meaningless conversation about something that we don't really even care about. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm off. Hey, listen, babe, what you got up for today? All right, so I set you up a massage with this and that and so on and so forth. And then they're going to be waiting for you. I'm going to send you a truck. And then I got everything taken care of. And then I'm going to meet you later on today. We're going to go to the game. You know what I'm saying? And then I want you to stay tonight. And I got to get up early and I got to be gone in the morning. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll make sure that you order breakfast and all of that stuff. And if you need anything, talk to the concierge. I already told him that you up here, And then when I get back from taking care of my business, we can hang out a little bit. I'm not about to be sitting there entertaining you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What you think this is? I'm not about to be sitting there entertaining you. Heck no. Heck no. Nope. I'm not doing it. And again, this is me. I'm not saying that y'all shouldn't do it. I think that you should do whatever it is that's meaningful to you that makes your relationship work. For me, I don't like that. I'm not interested in you sitting in my face all day and I'm thinking about all of the money that I'm losing as a result of it. I'm busy.
On camera.
So right now we're kind of standing at the scene of the crime. What did you guys do? Did you clean before you?
Most definitely. My wife, she's germophobic, so I had to most definitely clean it before she even stepped in anywhere in this house, period.
It allegedly happened Monday in Westland while Javon Crawford and his wife were in the hospital with his sick grandma. His wife started getting alerts from their security cameras on her phone.
She just pointed the phone to me, and then I seen him just doing what he was doing right here in our house.
Was it live?
It was live footage.
Oh my God.
Time stamped and everything.
Bonnet down, legs up for about an hour.
I'm wondering too if this guy's done this before. He
I'm
seems.
gonna keep it 100 with you, Tiffany. I'm gonna be so honest and so real. I ain't even gonna. Y'all think I be lying?
Hello.
Hey, Rita, I'm on a live stream. I got a question for you.
What's up?
Where am I sending you this weekend?
Vegas.
Huh? Babe.
Huh? Yeah.
Where am I sending you this weekend?
Here, Vegas.
For how many days?
4, 5.
You think you're gonna have a lot of fun?
Yes.
All right, just wanted to know.
What?
Nothing. I was just making a point.
Oh, okay. All right, bye.
Bye. I'm not about to be. I got stuff to do this weekend. I got appointments. I got all kind of stuff that I have to take care of. I have things to do. I have things to do. But I want you to enjoy life. I want you to enjoy life. I'm not trying to slow you down and all of this other stuff. Hey, listen, I want you to have a good time. You and, your chaperone, I'm sending y'all to Vegas. I got y'all the best suite, the best hotels, the best events. I got y'all set up with all of these different things, all of this stuff. Do your thing, big dog.
So comfortable.
Too comfortable.
Yeah, and that's true. If he got her legs up for an hour, that's insane. An hour?
Bonnet down, legs up for about an hour.
An hour? Yo, you gonna get a Charlie horse, big dog. An hour? You know how long an hour is? I don't know if y'all know how long an hour is, but you're gonna get a Charlie horse. I ain't even talking about just him. Her, with her legs bent like that for an hour, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You said for sure he took the pill? Oh, man. Somebody said, hold on. He's Loso Way says, I'm still young, so I can pull it off. I'm pretty sure that most of us can, but do you want to? Do you want to listen? And it's not even like they was in a different position. They was in the same position for an hour. They didn't even switch it up. He didn't even flip her over. He didn't do none of that stuff. An hour in the same spot. And he went and took a break. He went to the kitchen. He made a sandwich. Then he came back out and then he went into the same position. Nah, dog. Something wrong with him. He need to be investigated. He need to be investigated, honestly. She gotta be a thank you. Thank you. Somebody finally said it. She gotta be a fiend. You gotta be a fiend, bro. Nah, I'm good. Gotta be a fiend. An hour with black shoe was sneakers on. These are sneakers. She got that's fiend life right there. You got black Skechers on. She got a pink bonnet and black Skechers, and in the same position in the hour. Nah, dog. It's a lot wrong in this situation. It's a lot wrong in this picture. Nah. Nope. I'm straight.
I'm wondering too if this guy's done this before. He seems so comfortable.
Too comfortable. So I know for a fact that somebody that comfortable, what else could be done?
That landlord has some explaining to do. We tracked him to his Canton Township home.
Is this you naked in a tenant's home?
What? The Crawfords have.
Hey, dog got a beer belly. He got the Honda CRV. He got the minivan in the driveway. Man, this man is in a whole relationship. That's probably an
Township home. Is this you? That landlord has some explaining.
Yeah, he got two Hondas in there. He got the Honda Odyssey minivan, and he got the Honda CRV in the driveway. And he got all of the equipment that he used to service the homes that he the landlord for, because he cheap. So he cheap, and he drive Hondas, and he a family man, and he nasty. Yo, this dude is wild. There's so much wrong with this picture, bro.
That landlord has some explaining to do. We tracked him to his Canton Township home. Is this you?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get to the gym. I can't be out here looking crazy. You don't even know yourself until you walk past the mirror naked. Guy or girl. You don't even know yourself until you look at yourself in the mirror naked. You be like, yeah, we got some improvements to make. Tim the Two-Man Taylor, home improvements. You don't even know yourself until you walk past the mirror with no clothes on, and you're like, dang, I'm cool at the bottom, but I can make some improvements at the top. No days off going forward, 2026. After seeing this video, oh man, Goddess, you are 1000% correct. Then you see a video of yourself, like, you know what? I could do a little bit better than that. I'm pretty sure I could put in better performance numbers than this. They said he built like a spoon. Oh man, no more days off. What up, Daryl Thomas? You've been in the background. No more days off. Nope. It's a pride thing at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's all pride. It's 100% pride. Look at
you naked in a tenant's home. What?
Look at him. Look at him. Nah, man, it's a pride thing. It's all pride.
The Crawfords have handed that X-rated film over to police.
How hard is it going to be next month to cut that check to him?
It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna probably write some languages on the back of the check for him to transfer
A
to
little
him.
special memo.
Yeah, special memo.
Yeah, the landlord.
And that is true because look, I don't think he was trying to suck in his stomach, to be honest with you. I think that a lot of these people, once they get to a certain age, they just let it go. They don't fast. They're not trying to hit the gym no more. They don't suck in it. They just go to surgery. They go to surgery for their knees. They get hip replacements. And that's just the end of it. They let their whole stomach out. They don't put on no undershirt no more. They don't use nothing. Women don't use the waist trainers. They just walk like ants. Nah, dog. We got to care about ourselves. We got to, even if you're not where you want to be, even if you're far away from where you think you can be, you got to work at that. You just got to keep working at it. The same way that we work at our finances, the same way that we work on the bag is the same way that we got to continue to chase greatness because we got to be healthy. It's not even about how you look in the mirror. It's like, I want to grow older and good health. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Drove off. He would not commit to himself being in that video. Now, we did consult some prosecutors and defense attorneys. They're a little bit split on whether a crime was actually committed here. If there is one and police are investigating, it would probably be something like trespassing, which is a misdemeanor. But it's likely they have a civil matter on their hands for some kind of lease violation. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
I just have you shaking your head. Who exactly is the person who he was engaging with in these videos, according to investigators?
Yeah, engaging is a very nice way to put it, Roop. We do not know. We asked the tenants. They said they asked around. Even some of the neighbors showed the video to see if maybe they could find out who this woman is, because she could potentially be on the hook for charges too, again, if it is in fact a crime.
Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That's crazy, bro. That's disrespectful. It should nobody be in somebody else's house, having relations in a private space. That's insane. That's really, really insane. Let me see what else. We got to get into the nitty gritty of things. Shout out to Fi Brown. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, old girl talking about my rent paid up for the year. I guess rent got to get paid. That's wild facts. Mr. Lott says with the dunks on too. And then he had the nerve to have on Jumpman Jordans. B Hunter, that spot. Shout out to you for the super sticker. I appreciate you, B Hunter. Mr. Lott says, can any ladies confirm if they gave box with gym shoes on? That seems like a crackhead thing. Oh, man, it was so much wrong with that video, bro. I don't even review videos like that, but it was so yeah, I got them Team Jordans on. It was so much wrong with that. Better start profiling y'all landlord. Molly said profile y'all landlords nasty word. I might bring this up on After Hours tonight. I don't know, Molly. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, some of my homies told me before I should detail female vehicles free for the box. Man, you know, the thing about it is that women will leverage themselves for everything. They leverage their femininity for everything. They think you supposed to carry up all of their groceries and you ain't never met them before. They think you supposed to carry their furniture from their car because they a damsel in distress and put it together. They think all of that. She don't even got to look good. She just feel like you supposed to do it because she a woman. Don't break your back for these chicks. Box was trash, AD. Man, listen, bro. Ain't never been worth it. Not a dollar. Don't miss a dollar. Don't miss a dollar, just Christian Black. Wesley Turner says he was moving like Don Fanucci from The Godfather 2. Latrell says it's probably the only position where he can fully settle into the box. I just think it's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful to do that on somebody else's place. I don't know, man. That hurt me. It hurt me. It did. Hurt my heart. All right, let me see. Let's start here. Switch my account.
Says it's shifting money and staff toward, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. The company told employees in April that these job cuts were coming. Meta began laying off 8,000 employees yesterday. It's about 10% of its workforce. Another 7,000 workers will be reassigned to new AI-related teams. Hugh Langley joins us now. He covers tech news as a senior correspondent for Business Insider. Hugh, good morning and welcome, joining us from London. Explain for our viewers how these cuts compare to Meta's previous layoffs and if it's really all about AI.
So Meta has made a few cuts over the last few years. 2022, 2023, it cut roughly 20,000 employees. Now, at the time, some of that CEO Mark Zuckerberg blamed on too much hiring through the pandemic, and then this push towards being more efficient. AI was around, but it wasn't really front and center of the conversation. What's striking, obviously, this time around, the company cut around 8,000 employees this week. What's striking is that obviously AI is far more central to the conversations that are being had around these cuts, and also that Meta is performing very well. I mean, the stock price is up a considerable amount over 2023, and the company continues to have quarter.
When we do Stock Club on Saturday this weekend, I'll just tell you that Meta is a play. Whenever I see layoffs coming, I know that they are running really, really efficiently and they're downsizing for the right reasons. Of course, I'm going to get into the human aspect of it on the Millionaire Morning Show. But I'll just tell you guys right now, Meta is 1,000% an investment right now. Like when I break it down for y'all and when I go over the numbers this Saturday on Stock Club and I go through the charts, you'll understand why. But Meta is incredibly profitable. And I like the fact that they are, from an investment perspective, I like the fact that they are cutting employees. This sounds so bad. I like the fact that they are cutting employees in order to deploy more capital into AI investing. So that's what the play is for the company. But I'm not going to dig into that right now. We're going to get into it on Stock Club on Saturday, and we're going to talk about it. All right? Let me continue with this really quickly.
After a quarter of really good earnings. So it's not about company performance, but yes, a lot of the focus being put on AI and the vast amount of money that Meta is investing right now, specifically in CapEx. It's spending extraordinary amounts of money to build out the infrastructure to support AI. And in the note to employees this week, the laid off staff were told this is happening because we have to, offset these other investments.
And help our viewers understand the connection between layoffs and Wall Street, because usually when a company even announces a reduction in its labor force, its stock value increases.
Somebody said, what time, AD? We'll probably do it, I'm thinking, in the morning. What do y'all think? Y'all think that the morning will probably work best? So I don't know. We could do it at any time that y'all want to do it. So I'll figure it out.
And what I'm hearing from a lot of Silicon Valley folks who get the boot is that sometimes they're called back to help baby the AI systems they're being replaced with because they do hallucinate and cause some mistakes. So
somebody said, I mess with you, Anton, but that's crazy. Why is it crazy? I teach and advocate for my bag chasers to be on the receiving end of what success is supposed to look like, instead of being on the suffering end of what layoffs are supposed to impact you like. I teach people to be an equity investor and to capitalize off of what the company is doing instead of being a person that's a victim. I figured out early in life how to turn the tables when I got laid off and fired in 2007 and 2008, that it was better to be on the other side as an investor where they work for the shareholders instead of thinking that they cared about the employees. I didn't make the rules. I'm not sitting here trying to figure out how we can be victims and whether we should cry with each other. I'm trying to figure out how we can profit. One thing that I learned in 2008 is that in the housing crisis, not only is everything cyclical, but to be prepared, because when people have money, that's how you get really rich. You're not hearing what I'm saying. In any situation where things seems to get ugly, or when people getting laid off, or when the housing market is getting crushed, or if affordability crisis, or whenever there's war, there's money to be made. And the people that's at the top, instead of us learning and understanding exactly how they move, which is what I taught myself in 2008, we sit here and we complain thinking that somebody is supposed to give us something. And that's not how life works. You have to learn how to be the wolf instead of always being the sheep. I read all comments. That's how I interact with the show. You have to learn how to be the wolf instead of the sheep. You have to learn how to be the hunter instead of being a hunted that's trying to figure out how to survive. We're not in survival mode anymore. Every video, every piece of content, even the vlogs, I'm giving information. I'm trying to give insight on how you need to move differently to capitalize. I would rather you be getting a dividend payment and your stock price going up and your portfolio and your value going up instead of you trying to figure out how you can find another job. So we can sit here and we can sympathize and empathize, and we can do both. We can sit here and say, oh my God, I can't believe it. What's going on? Or we can see this coming, predict it, and say, what is their strategy? How are they capitalizing off of this? What is going to be the market value of the company, and whether or not we should invest in it? Loso, you've been in the Patreon. You've been in the live streams. You know what's up. AD, I support growth, but people losing their jobs is crazy. Layoffs have been in existence since the beginning of time. If I've learned anything as a person that's lived in Detroit, as a city that was literally on the precipice of the greatest city in the United States of America, is that there's going to be boom bust times. And I've always, every single year, seen people get jobs and get laid off in the auto industry. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, do we continue to have the same mentality that they had 40 years ago, or do we evolve? Come on, y'all. The minute that you remove your feelings and you start making better decisions is when you'll start to have more success. I didn't lay anybody off. Nobody that works for me has been laid off. Every single person that works for me, either that they'll eventually say, well, you know what? I want to go off on my own. I want to do my own thing. Or they just work for me for a long time. I'm not the person that's laying people off. I figure out how to make sure that all of my people not only get paid, but they get raises. So don't look at me. I'm not the person that's having this conversation. I'm just the person that's going to figure out how to capitalize off of it.
Is it a bit more complicated than it seems?
It's a bit more complicated, and it also depends on the company. We're seeing a lot of layoffs right now across the tech sector. Some of it is being blamed directly on AI, with CEOs saying, yeah, we're doing this because AI is able to take up some of the work now. Some of it is being a little more hidden, words like investments and things like that are being used. In the case of Meta, look, what's fascinating about this company in particular is CEO Mark Zuckerberg has been on a really aggressive push to make the company what he calls internally AI native. He has this vision of basically cutting out middle managers, almost getting rid of a lot of managers entirely, smaller teams working more with AI, and trying to be more efficient that way. So, but to your point, they need the AI to work, right? You mentioned about people coming back to work on these models and baby them somewhat. So, something that's really happening right now, you mentioned 7,000 people this week inside the company are also being redeployed to work specifically on AI tooling. A lot of this is going to be around tools that Meta is using internally and the models internally, but also the models that they are selling to.
Let me ask y'all a question before I get to the people's reactions of getting laid off at Meta. How many of y'all actually watched Google's keynotes for their I/O day? How many of y'all watched Google I/O 2026? Don't worry about it. You ain't got to answer. It's a rhetorical question. How many people watched Google's keynote speeches from their CEOs? You watched it, Rod Brown? Okay, so you familiar, right? Guess what I was watching on my way to sleep last night? The keynote speeches. Guess what the majority of the culture is watching? Reactions on Drake, Rick Ross interviews. This is why I say I got to put the medicine inside of the candy when we having these conversations on a Millionaire Morning Show. They trying to figure out what the Real Housewives of Atlanta was doing. They want to know what the latest Instagram baddie is saying. They watching Neon as a streamer talk to Selena Powell. They watching Adrian Broner with Dean the Great. And it's nothing wrong with that. Do y'all think? I think that entertainment should be interesting. But if I had made the title of this live stream today, instead of saying Doomsday, Meta employees getting laid off, if I had made it all of the insight that came along from Google's keynote speeches on their changes from AI and how this is changing how it is that we do business from the technological breakthroughs that came through from the latest AI advancements, there would be 17 people watching this right now. How come that wasn't something that popped up on y'all algorithm? Since y'all want to have a conversation, how come that's not something that popped up on y'all algorithm? But when somebody talk about somebody killing somebody in the rap game, Sean Gathright getting sentenced in a Julio Fulio case, but we don't want to have a conversation about what's going on with AI. And they literally just had Google's AI keynote speeches that happened the other day. Now, I'm familiar with it because it's something that I plan on discussing inside of the Patreon at length. And so I have to give all of my people every piece of insight and information so that they're able to utilize the information and capitalize off of it. But we'll sit there and we'll have a conversation, break down every single album, talk about Drake as though Drake is paying us. I like Drake's music. I think that he's the greatest artist of all time. I think he's going to be the richest artist of all time. But we talking about we acting like Drake is giving us some money. But yet we don't want to educate ourselves on what the technological advances are. So blame yourself. Blame yourself for not evolving. Blame yourself for a lack of information, not that it's not available, but that you're not chasing the information that's going to be meaningful to your portfolio. That's all I'm saying. What is our priorities and what's meaningful to us? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm not even interested in talking about the comedian anymore. I know that on this podcast tonight, that is probably going to be some questions around, oh man, what's going on with the comedian, or this and that, or whatever, so on and so forth. And I'll answer them because I understand the game, I understand entertainment, and I want to give people the best interviews possible. But I would rather people ask me questions. And this is why I love the Patreon so much. I would rather people ask me investor questions. When people see me in the street on a regular basis, they don't come up to me and say, well, some of them do. And let me stop that. They don't always come up to me and say, man, what do you think about this from a business perspective? Or can you give me a little bit of insight? I'm trying to open up this business, or, my restaurant is doing this. They don't ask me those questions. And I will gladly, I'm excited. That's the thing that people don't understand about people that's successful. They're excited to give you information. They don't run up to me and ask me questions about things that's going to be meaningful to their life. They ask me about gossip. They ask me about things that don't even matter. That when we walk away after that conversation, it's not going to add no additional value to their life. Now, when I go to a Patreon meetup, which we got a meetup coming up, I think at the end of June. I think it's going to be at the end of June. When I go to the Patreon meetup, people consume me. They pepper me with questions all of my time. We party, we drink, we have a good time, and then they asking me about how they can advance their portfolio. And that's why I only prefer to talk to the Patreon members. It's refreshing to get people to ask me meaningful questions. When I did the Tasha K interview, it was standard. It's like hooping. It's repetitive. It's like riding a bike. I can navigate through a relationship conversation, and I could weave in through that mother effer and give you some, and it's gonna be entertaining, right? I can go through a conversation about hoes or relationships or gossip or who's going to leave the team or whether or not that's easy. That is like, that's the lowest hanging fruit that I could possibly ever get. Now, if you want to ask me about the return on my investments, if you want to ask about what the margins are when it comes to opening up a restaurant, if you want to ask me about, you know, what are the next plays in real estate and where did I see the market going, where you should invest your money, what cities you should invest in. You see if you want to start digging a little bit more into AI and machine learning and prompt engineering, if you want to ask me about my workflow and how do I schedule my time more effectively to be able to get so much done, and how you should hire people, when you should hire people, if you should lay people off, if you want to pick my brain more extensively about how you should do business, or, you know, what is the culture and how it is that we can change the culture, or how we can be more effective in our cities and where we should move to and stuff like that. You want to ask me something meaningful, I'll get excited. We'll probably go from a 1 hour interview to a 2 to 3 hour interview. But if you just want to ask me about basic stuff, then, you know, I'm going to meet you where you are. I'm going to meet you where you are. And so it's all depending on you. I take everything at face value. I don't push people to be any more than exactly where they are. And so the questions that you ask is going to be based off of the energy that I give you. I love it when people run up to me and they ask me meaningful questions. People are sitting here talking about Facebook layoffs. They're not talking about how profitable Facebook or Meta, how profitable Meta has been as a result of dedicating themselves. Nobody is asking a question, right? Everybody is saying that nobody uses Facebook, but how is Meta so profitable? Why nobody having this conversation? Why we don't have these conversations in the Black community? If I scroll up and down the timeline and I look at any Black person that's on a timeline, either they're going to be gossiping, or they're going to talk about sports, or they're going to be talking about hoes. That's it. The gay guys talk about what the women are doing and who's breaking up. Who's breaking up? I can't believe it. Oh my God. The sports guys do what the sports guys do. That's normal. That's just inherently in us. We competitive. And then we're going to talk about anything else that's gossiping. It's probably going to be another woman, Cheyenne Bryant. How many times can we stream about Cheyenne Bryant? How many more times can we talk about whether or not Cheyenne Bryant is a doctor or if she's gay? And I like talking about all of it, but can we mix in a little bit of meat inside of those potatoes, or is it always just going to be low-hanging fruit and surface level conversations? Julian said, can you tell me when my NVIDIA stock is going to go back up? I told you to take I told y'all in the Patreon to take your profits and then to reallocate it while you still dollar cost averaging. That's what I told y'all to do. Hey guys, we running it up. Oh man, we just had a big jump. Take your profits, take out profits, take this percentage of the profits, stay in there because I still think that this is a growth stock, and reallocate it over to this, and this, and this. I already told y'all. I showed y'all the charts. I told y'all that when we blew up and we made a bunch of money on Rivian. I told y'all what Rivian. Did y'all see what happened with Rivian today? We did it twice. We did it with Volkswagen when Volkswagen and they did a partnership with Rivian, and then we did it again when they popped off. And I said, all right, y'all, we made our money on this. It's still a little bit risky. This is how we allocate a percentage of our profits. We're gonna take our wins, and we're going to reallocate it. And if you want to stay in it, then only keep this percentage of a portion of your portfolio in it. But, you know, low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit.
Out this morning that I am one of the people laid off from Meta. The emails came at 6 a.m. I slept until 8 like a baby. And I woke up to several text messages. The one that I read first was from my former manager, and she was just so fantastic. I was very happy to hear the news from her versus the email. I am looking for another job in corporate. My experience is in sales enablement, learning and development, instructional design, program management. Most recently, I've been supporting sales teams with AI enablement. So if you know of anything and would be looking for someone to, bring on to help with any of those things who has experience doing that at scale, let me know. Sending love to all of you who are going through the same things because it is stressful.
I want y'all to also to keep in mind that everything that you're doing on social media today is a part of your resume. It's a part of your portfolio now. So when you get on these platforms and you say, I want to take you through my journey of being laid off and stuff like that, you become a less attractive candidate for people that are vetting your social media to see whether or not you're going to be and they're not going to tell you. That's what a lot of y'all need to understand. They're not going to tell you that they're looking at your social media to understand if you are a viable candidate or not. All right. So be careful what y'all say on social media, especially once you lose your job or if you're unemployed.
And I'll be documenting how I spend my layoff as well as how my job search is going. So if you're interested, follow along.
I guess tomorrow is Meta's Doomsday, where they're
y'all got to get a better pitch too. All of you content creators, get a better pitch. Stop saying I'm going to document my journey of being laid off and all of this stuff and follow along if you want to see more. You got to get a better pitch. You got to become more marketable than that. All right. You got to give people a reason to want to follow you beyond the fact that you're talking about whatever the current event is. They have to buy into your story. They have to buy into who you are as a person. Now, I'm not going to give y'all any, a masterclass on social media because I do that on the Patreon also. But y'all going to have to figure out, content creators, and no, you're not going to be able to replace your income with content because you're not there yet. That comes over time and you got to build it. Y'all got to give some better reasons for people to follow you more than the fact that you just got laid off.
laying off 10% of their workforce. I worked at Meta for 4 years. I still have several friends that still work there. Some of them have worked there for almost
I'm not going to give y'all that.
9-10 years at this point. And I've had conversations with many of them over the last couple of days. And there's 3 groups of people. There's one group of people that are hoping, begging, pleading on their knees tonight, praying that they get laid off tomorrow because they're tired, they're burnt out, they're over it, they want the severance, they want a break from corporate America in general, not even just big tech. Like a lot of my girlfriends are like, I just want to sell all of my stuff and move to Bali, or type of break, And then there's a second group of people that want to stay. They don't want to get laid off. They're in the middle of family planning. They don't feel like they have a healthy enough savings to be able to survive, even with a severance package. Because, there's so much lifestyle creep that may happen when you're working in big tech, especially if you've been there for a while. So they essentially really need the job. They need the benefits. And then there's a group of people that are at Meta and know that they're likely not to be laid off just due to the nature of their work. They're a little bit more tightly aligned to AI, but they know several of their coworkers will be getting laid off, which means they will only have more work to do with fewer resources, which is already starting to stress them out. So I just feel for everyone, and I'm hoping that everyone gets what they desire. It's a really tough time in big tech right now.
Oh, I'm muted. My bad. Sorry about that, y'all. People that continue to evolve with the times will always have a position and will always continue to be successful. Now, that does not mean that you're always going to have a position at the company that's laying off, because it's a numbers game. But the ones that are the most likely to get laid off are usually going to be the non-technical positions, the non-essential positions, right? As long as you continue to evolve with technology, as long as you continue to evolve with what's going on in the industry, you will be fine. You will be fine, right? Sales, non-technical positions, administrative, just because you work at a technology company don't mean that you're safe. The bigger question that y'all need to ask yourself is this. All right, you ready? How do you put yourself in a position to have a second income or to never be dependent on a company again? The way that I structure my life and the way that I've planned out my life has always been in phases. When I became a software engineer and I started off at the University of Michigan in a major position outside of my businesses that I created, and then I moved on to Comerica Bank, and then I moved on to Flagstar Bank after that, I never anticipated being in the industry for more than 10 years. Do you hear what I'm saying? Y'all still have a mentality that you're going to get a job and you're going to work there until either you can retire or you get laid off. You're wrong. You have the same mentality that they had back in the plant days, back when jobs was a lot more physical. Hey, you work here at the post office for 30 years, you work at UPS for 30 years, work at the plant for 30 years, you work at this supplier for 30 years, then then eventually you can get a pension, or eventually you can retire and get your 401k. I hear guys all the time, man, I got 4 more years, 3 more years. If I could just make it 3 more years and I can get retirement. I realized very early in life, in 2008, A, this is not going to get me rich, and B, this is not going to be sustainable for me, right? So I pivoted and I started to structure my life in 5 to 10 year increments. Once I get to the halfway mark, which is going to be the 5-year mark, in whatever industry that I'm in, I'm working for this place, or I'm software engineer or whatever, what's my next phase? What's the next phase of my life? Even now, right, as a content creator, I may be a content creator for a long time, but I've been planning over the last 5, 6, 7 years what my exit will be if I decided that I never wanted to do content creation again in 10 years. That's why I've been spending so much time building up my real estate portfolio and pouring everything that I have into that, because I'm always planning for the next phase while at the same time capitalizing off of what I'm doing right now. I'm never, ever, anytime I get into something, I say, what did I tell y'all when I said that I got into content creation? I said, I'm going to do this for the next 10 years and see what happens. Well, guess what? It worked out for me in that way, right? But when I'm looking at everything in its totality, everything is planned out in 5 to 10 year increments. Even if I'm successful in that relative field, I'm always planning what my next play is going to be. Always. I'm never expecting to retire or to say or to stay in the same place that I was. So now my main focus and my main concern future forward is, what do I want my life to look like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, in the event that I decide, because I'm going to determine when I walk away. Same way I determined when I was going to walk away from corporate America. What is my life going to be, and how am I going to decide what my life is going to be, and how do I make it even more grand than what it is that I got going on right now? So I'm looking at every aspect of my business. I'm constantly reevaluating every 3 to 6 months, every quarter, of what that looks like. I'm always looking at every employee to figure out how I'm going to be able to either take them with me or impact them in a positive way and get them on their way or whatever. 10 years from now, I'm looking at everything. It's a reason why I haven't taken on any debt. at all whatsoever. It's a reason why I pay for everything in cash. It's a reason why I'm very careful and strategic on who I hire and I bring into my life. It's a reason why I'm deploying all of my resources into building up my real estate portfolio. I have a number, I have a calculation that goes along with it, and I have a way in which I think I'm going to sustain myself for the rest of my life. You have to start breaking your life down in 5 to 10 year increments instead of spending all of your time thinking that a job is going to take care of you and that you're going to be able to retire from there. If that happens, cool. But you should never be dependent on a job for the rest of your life, is what I'm saying. Joe Gunn says, AD Cap, you're going to be 85 till still doing YouTube. God willing. God willing. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. That means that I still got a love for it, that I still add value, and that people still messing with me, and I've evolved with the times. But if you think that I'm going to be depending on it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, if you think that my life is going to be determined based off of whether or not I'm going to be dependent, you crazy. You're smoking crack. That's the whole reason why I'm having this conversation with you. That's the goal. God willing, I may get a big deal and decide to sell out. You never know. I may do a Drake on them. It's a little over your head. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with your notifications. That's a little over their head. Guru knows says low vibrational. Facts. Low vibrational. Far Brown says, yeah, AD, please cover this on After Hours. Slimmy and Molly gonna have a field day. Y'all want me to talk about the rent? Guru No says the Me Too campaign about to be in the landlord. A TS Car Wash and Detail Services. AD Peter Gunn's Deja Vu Uptown still bump. You agree? I think it's cool. Throw it on every once in a while. Uptown baby. Uptown baby. What's up, Bridget? What up, Bridget? What's up, my cutie pie, Bridget? I love you, baby girl. Thank you for holding me down. What up, B? Rob Brown says, I asked AD the right questions about content creation, and that helped me recently reach 10,000 subs. Y'all better get in the Patreon. It's listen, man, either they gonna catch it or they not, bro. Either they catch it or they don't. Again, you can't drag a horse to water. You gotta let them rock out. Gotta let them do what they're gonna do. Cartier 82 says, and thank you for holding me down, big dog. I'm all in for a 4-hour show. Your breakdown is A1. I have a morning doctor's appointment at 8:40 a.m. on Tuesday that I want to cancel because I wish I could do it on Saturday. Let me make a phone call. I don't want nothing messing up my week. Hey, is it a way for us to be able to do that appointment, the doctor's appointment, on a Saturday, or do they only do them on Mondays? I mean, during the week. The one on Tuesday, I think. Can you call and check? No, you're not on speaker. If you was on speaker, I would tell you're on speaker. Yeah, I'm on a show, but you're not on speaker. All right, bye. Got to get all your doctor's appointments together. Got to get your dental work done. Again, I always try to encourage y'all to make sure y'all take care of yourself. Got to get your dental work done. Got to get your eyes checked. Got to get your what else? What other type of doctor's appointment? Got to get your regular checkups. Got to get, let's see, eyes, dental, regular doctor's appointment. All of that. You just got to make sure that y'all Make sure that y'all go to your regular doctor's appointment and take care of yourself, bro. 1000%. Trey Day says, question, I'm at a standstill and I quit my second job. I'm focused on content and investing. What I think I need your insight. I was working too many hours. How do you know that you was working too many hours? The only way, all right, the only way that you can truly know that you were working too many hours is by looking at your calendar and how well you follow it. That's the only way. You can't go based off of how you feel. You can't go based off of how you got paid. You can't go based off of whether you was tired. The only way that you can tell that is if you are effectively using your calendar and if you abiding by it. That's the only way for you to quantify it. Because sometimes we just do a bunch of stuff, but we're not really doing anything relevant, or we're not moving the way that we're supposed to. So we'll talk about it, Trey. Get on Target TV says, 80, I'm 54, retired 4 years ago from Leo. I make more money from my pension than I ever did working. Okay, now what though? What's the next move? You only 54. You got at least another 30 years in you. Are you satisfied with that? Is the way that you compare yourself in your life based off of what you used to do, or do you compare yourself based off of where you want to be? Because the question that I'm asking myself is, what do I want to accomplish? Not necessarily how much that I used to make and how much better I am than what I used to be. I'm thankful, I'm appreciative, but I'm not standing still and waiting on anything to happen to me. I think that's dope. I think it's awesome that you make more money. But the question is, are you done? Is that the end? Is that the end of your journey? So at 54, that's it? Is that it? I make more money every year than I did the year before. There has never been a year since 2008 where I have not made more money the next year than I made the year before. I'm not satisfied. I don't feel like I've accomplished everything. I don't look at those plaques right there. It's 3 different plaques right there. Because I got them in my studio and I got them in every space that I lay my head at. 3 different plaques right there. You see the gold one and see the 2. I don't look at that and say, you know what? I feel like I did it all. Because if you're not living, you're dying. And it's not even a specific number. I just want to be the best. I want to leave it on the floor. I want to be the best me ever. Ever. I want to be the greatest Anton ever. Ever.
No, see, you might be, I could see it in your eyes.
Would you put Drake at your level?
No.
You're not putting Drake at your level.
No, see, you might be, I could see it in your eyes, you might be confused with the numbers and all of the fake numbers, flood the marketplace, 50 something. That shit ain't nothing. Remember what I told you, the streets are the streets. If Drake was what he thought, what you think he was or what he thought he was, he would have been able to clear all this shit up, address it, and been moved on. He's still suing the label. That's like him. He might sue you for speaking of him on this situation. He might sue you. He might send you a cease and desist.
That would be a compliment.
It's a nice alley-oop.
That's a nice alley-oop.
Let him know.
But if it does, I'll definitely text you and I'll say we got to share the legal fees together.
Shit, no.
Because we would share legal fees together.
No,
we get the same lawyer.
No, we won't, man. He might sue you. He sued Lucian Grange.
What did Lucian say?
I'm not sure.
I think that Ross got to be, this just got to be a troll in order to keep visibility on himself because of his book rollout and because of his album rollout that's coming. It's got to be a troll, because Ross got to be smart enough to know that maybe he's smart enough to know that the average consumer is not smart enough to understand that Lucian Grange is the head of the record labels, and so Drake is strategically leveraging himself to make even more money and or go independent. As a matter of fact, I was listening to Ray Daniels. A lot of people are not familiar with Ray Daniels, but Ray Daniels is a music executive, made a lot of money. He's now become a content creator, and I was listening to what he was saying. And Ray Daniels was saying that he believes that Drake is already independent, and that's the reason why he financed this whole $10 million rollout for this album and didn't take no money from the label. That's what Ray Daniels was saying. And that he was saying that he was using his lawsuit as leverage to ultimately get out of the deal and put himself in a greater position to get billions. Because they say that Drake makes more money for Universal than all of the rest of their catalog combined. But here's the key. It's starting to look like hate. It's starting to. I like Ross. I like his style. I like his hustle. I like the fact that he didn't necessarily have to sell a gajillion records and he's still richer than most people, most rappers or whatever like that. But it's starting to sound like hate. It's starting to, honestly. And so when you're not objective enough to be able to say, there are certain people that I don't necessarily care for, but I'm never going to sit there and diminish their talent and say they're not good at what they do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can respect my adversaries. I don't have to necessarily respect how they move. I don't have to necessarily respect what they do, but I definitely respect their ability to be great at whatever their craft is. And so that allows for me to look at everything from a business perspective, because I don't take it so personal to where I'm allow that to affect my judgment. And it's almost like he's become obsessed. It's almost like he's become obsessed. So much so to where he is starting to sound like Dane. And that Rick Ross is doing all of these interviews. I've seen him on Bag Fuel. I've seen him on a local news TV station. I'm seeing him on Patrick Bet-David platform. And I think they're doing interviews so that he'll have a rollout. But he's talking less about his own projects, his own book that's coming out. I don't even know the name of his album right off the top of my head without listening to, without looking for it. I think it's called, I don't remember the name of his album. He's doing more to promote Iceman than he is to promote his own stuff. And anytime that I go out and the only thing or the main thing that people ask me about is stuff that's completely unrelated to anything that I got going on, I know it's time for me to take a break. Set in Stone. Shout out to Aaron Miller. It's called Set in Stone. I don't know, man. I like Ross. I do. I think that Ross is a good businessman. I like his style. I like the way that he talk his talk. But it's starting to be almost like obsession-like, the way that he's fantasizing. He talks like he fantasizes and he thinks about Drake all day long.
Lucian is a heavyweight, though. Lucian is.
I know, but
he's got a little bit dark side to him.
When you diss certain people and they can't deal with it emotionally, they're embarrassed, they're humiliated. That's when they sue all of these people.
Did you listen to Iceman, the new?
I listened to some of it. My engineer was horrendous.
Come on, dog. Come on, man. Stop, bro. Stop, bro. Stop. I already see TikTok dances happening. I see they making up dances to She Bangs. I see dudes already playing that junk inside of the clubs. I'm seeing it on the internet. I'm seeing it on Instagram. Come on, man. That junk is going to control the summer, bro. It just, real talk. It's going to control the summer.
What do you give it?
Like it or
0 to
not.
10?
Oh man, it was. I mean, Pitchfork gave it. I said it was mid. Mid meant 5. Pitchfork gave it a 4 point something. I don't know, but it was like.
How would he know what Pitchfork is giving an album? Why he checking for what?
No one's my friend. You left me alone. Oh my, it's that type of shit. You got to be a boss out here, man.
So nothing that would be in your new playlist that you were showing.
Was it anything in my recent playlist?
I didn't hear all of them. I don't know if you got a, but have you personally listened to every single one of the tracks in the new album?
No, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
No.
By which one did you stop? 5?
I'm not
did
sure.
you make it to 5 or 6?
I'm not sure. You got to realize when it was going, it's music people that's on my team I allow them to be you could be a Drake fan if you like his music. I'm not going to tell you, no, don't put, we're not on that type of shit. Listen to it if you want to listen to it. And I had people that listened to it. By the 5th song they came out, they was like, damn, this shit whack. And they went back in, listened to it. I'm like, it's not nothing that's dope. You don't hear nothing like Jay-Z and Alicia Keys in New York.
What? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys? Oh man. You know what's so funny? If you go on the charts and you look at all of the songs in which Rick Ross, respectfully, because I think that Rick Ross has an incredible catalog. I listen to his music as a fan. But if you go and you look at the top of the charts of everything that's the hottest for Rick Ross, all of it is featuring Drake. The Aston Martin music, I'm just keeping it 100. I could never hate the person, honestly, that gave me the biggest alley-oops in my career. This is just me. I don't know what's in these dudes' minds. I don't know how they move. I've never met them before. I could never hate a person that gave me my biggest alley-oops. Even if we fell out, I would just respectfully sit back and say, you know what? You got it. You know what? Let me say this. This is why I respect JR. Some of y'all may not know who JR is. This is why I respect JR from Lapeef. Because he knows that I gave him the biggest alley-oop financially of his life. This is the honest to God truth. And regardless of what happened, regardless of whether we agreed or disagreed, regardless of what, publicly, it's never, ever, 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 even through all of the comedian stuff, even through all of the lies and stuff like that, he's always been quiet about the situation, regardless of whether he feel a certain way or not. He's always just been quiet about the situation, because how can you hate the person that's giving you one of the biggest alley-oops, especially when it is with this content creation stuff? Keeping it 100. I'll give you another one. I know that there's people that I'm cool with that don't necessarily like Abba and Preach. What I learned from the Fresh and Fit situation was I got myself involved in something that, and this was back when they first started beefing, Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit and all of that. And I had picked a side with something that ain't have nothing to do with me. That was something that had something to do with amongst two men that had their own situations. And I had to come back and apologize to Myron and Fresh. And I didn't have to, but I did it. I apologize to Myron and Fresh because I got involved in something that ain't have nothing to do with me. Likewise, because I learned from that situation, when I seen the whole situation popping off as far as the girl trying to make videos about Abba, you know, the chick that's allegedly, supposedly got that said that he got her pregnant or whatever like that. I might have been the only person that never reacted to it, that never had a conversation about it. You know why? Because that's not my business. And when I see a personal situation popping off, I'm choosing to opt out of that type of conversation. And you know what's so interesting about that? Another reason why I felt really comfortable making that decision, you know, a bunch of people can make a lot of money. And I understand if somebody else is beefing with them decide to do it. But I opted out of that because I never seen them make a video about me. They've made a video about every single person that they think is in the relationship or the red pill space or whatever it is that they think or whatever. But I've never seen them say anything negative about me, not once. Never seen them say nothing negative about me. So I look at that, even though I don't know them, even though I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't hang out with them or nothing like that. I look at that and I say, okay. I'm going to extend respect or at least grace where they extended it also. And so I just have to move based off of integrity and honesty. I'm not doing stuff just because that's something that everybody else doing. I understand if Myron do it because they got a long-standing situation and I don't even involve myself in that. But if you notice, I never reacted to that whatsoever. It's just not my business. Some stuff personally, I don't think it's my business. This from Ross seems obsessive, like Dame is obsessed with Jay. How can you hate a person that gave you the biggest alley-oops of your career? How can you hate a person that's giving you the biggest alley-oops of your career? Drake has done more for Ross than, in my opinion, any other artist that he's ever worked with. I don't know how you can even have this kind of conversation about him. Somebody says it's all just content for them. No, they all eating because of it. I don't look at it like that. You don't really understand this content creation game. This is real life. It's just content for the audience that's casually observing it. It's not just content. It's a lot of money involved. It's a lot of personal situations involved. It's a lot of you don't know whether or not people can handle it or not, if they sleeping well or not. You don't know what people are going through. It's not just content. I don't know why people keep saying that like social media is not a real thing. I've seen people die off of beefing on social media. It's not just content. For whatever reason, y'all keep saying, oh, it's just content, it's just content, it's just content. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not just content.
I say you don't hear none of that. You know, this is a motherfucker who always bringing up Michael Jackson. What a Billie Jean at? What a Thriller.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play the rest of this interview. A is Forever says vice versa. AD Ross was bigger than Drake when they started making music together. Working together was equally beneficial. I don't know what you smoking. Ross was never, under no circumstances, in any way, shape, or form, ever bigger than Drake. I don't know what you were smoking. I don't know what timeline you woke up on. That's just objectively not true. Ross was never, ever, ever bigger than Drake. I don't know what you smoking. That ain't, even if you don't like Drake, You can't. You don't. You wouldn't even admit that openly. You can hate Drake. You can hate his music. You can think that Iceman was a trash album, but under no circumstances would you ever say that out loud and truly believe it. Ross was never, ever, ever bigger than Drake or even remotely on the same level. Stop. Just stop, bro. Y'all got to think about what y'all saying before you type it.
And my homies actually sat there and they lost an hour of their life for this shit.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
Are they recovering?
Yeah. Trauma.
It's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Now, by the way,
when you've been waiting after you seen people put ice blocks in the middle of places and promoted and marketed, and the world knew what day it was coming out, and the shit came out and really, folded.
How is it a performing on the charts, Rob?
Who?
I'm not tracking how
Drake's mixtapes. Drake's mixtapes was bigger than. Stop, bro. Some people even consider. That's why they say that the mixtape was an album. Some people consider Drake's mixtapes to be the greatest mixtapes of all time, as far as that's why they released them later on as an album. Come on, man. Stop, bro. Y'all got to stop this.
Man,
I'm not sure.
Performing on the chart.
Rose don't.
Yeah, well, let's see. Iceman recorded 140.2 million first-day Spotify streams, officially making the biggest album debut in 2026 so far. The figure has placed immediately pressure on competitors and set a new benchmark for opening. Drake's Janice has reached #1 on Apple Music. So that shows it's doing okay. That's showing it's doing pretty good.
I'm glad PBD called that out.
I don't know what you're reading, but do me a favor and pull up Spotify. Let's go to the real streaming. Pull up Drake's Spotify. That didn't even have a logo, which you was just reading. Pull up Drake.
Show editors and set a new
benchmark. The source comes straight from Source Magazine. He said it didn't have a logo. Yeah, it did. Why hate to this extent, though?
Let's go to the real streaming. Pull up Drake's Spotify. That didn't even have a logo, which you was just reading. So you might be an Iceman fan.
I'm not listening to it, just so you know. Okay, so how do you go to see where it's ranking?
I'm not sure. I'm talking
Iceman, then go to news, reviews.
You like Drake. You've been talking about him 20
just so you know, I will tell you, this is the fun fact about me. I stopped, my hip-hop stopped in early 2000.
This is not hip-hop.
His not hip-hop.
No, this is not hip-hop. I like how he used the Michael Jackson glove right around the time the Michael Jackson movie came out. You ride that wave. He know how to ride a wave, but it ain't working.
He does not succeed. Pitchfork gives Iceman a 4.8 out of 10. Okay, that's not good. Fans react. That's Pitchfork gives Drake. How important is Pitchfork, by the way, when they score you?
I don't get into scores.
You just mentioned
my
the
music
score.
I've always made was in the
You literally just mentioned it.
streets.
You quoted them, though. You said you gave it a mid, but Pitchfork gave it a 4.8.
Facts.
So then that means Pitchfork has got credibility in the market.
No, I just told you what was online.
Okay.
I
All right.
said mid, which was higher. 5.
So you were
out of
being
10.
nicer than Pitchfork.
Oh, consider it.
Okay. So let me ask you.
Well, how can you rate an album if you say you didn't listen to the album? If you say you didn't listen to the whole album?
To you, what is the last hit? Like you said, we haven't had a Michael Jackson. We haven't had a New York with Jay-Z and
no, we haven't had it for
when
a
we
while.
talk.
Talking about big records. You got to understand when you're comparing yourself to Michael Jackson, when you're comparing yourself, deliver it.
What?
He compares himself to Michael Jackson.
And when you listen to people and play me the best 5 songs you heard, this or that, and you hear it, blah 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 blah.
Does it show ranking on Spotify? I'm actually curious now to see where it ranks on Spotify, how it's done. Oh, they scored it by 54 out of 10.
Tay, the best says, you a Drake fan, bro, and it's okay. I like Ross music, but he can't keep gossiping. I'm a Drake fan, and I'm also a Ross fan. I like them both. I love Ross's catalog, and I've been open about saying that, and I love Drake's catalog. I've been open about saying that. So I like them both, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to be objective enough to say, yo, you hating or you this or that. I was objective enough to say that Drake lost the battle when Not Like Us came out. Not Like Us was Kendrick's biggest hit ever in life. It got him to the Super Bowl. It got him a whole tour. So I don't think it's wrong to say L's. I think that Nas beat Jay-Z in Ether, and Jay-Z is still one of my favorite rappers of all time. So we got to be able to look at things objectively and say, yeah, but you hating right now. We know when a nigga is hating. I'm sorry. I've completely almost eliminated that from my vocabulary on the Millionaire Morning Show. We know when a dude is hating, and you can, more than one thing can be true at the same time. Ross is hating on Drake. Ross is hating on Drake. It just is what it is. I can like them both. I can like both of their music, but I can also call a spade and say Ross is hating on Drake. Jay can lose either, but it doesn't mean that Blueprint was not one of my greatest albums of all time. It was a great album. More than one thing could be true.
Clash, 54. So based on weighted average score, 50 out of 100 from 7 critic scores, doesn't look like a good score to me. That does not look so. So now yours is coming out June 12th.
June 12th, Set in Stone, my new album. Big, huge, popping big boy shit. Rich boy raps.
That's a sick cover right there, by the way.
Stone, marble.
Kind of look like Iceman. Kind of look like it's playing off the whole Iceman theme. Don't worry, we're gonna review the album. We're gonna review the album when it come out. Kind of look like when I first seen it, before I knew what the name of the album was, I was like, oh, this is an Iceman too. He said, Stone Man. Yeah. Oh, might be Stone Man. I could see that it's a sculpture in stone, Five Brown, but when I first seen it, just from the eyes, like when I just first seen it, I was like, oh, he frozen. Honestly, that's what I thought when I first seen it.
That is a sick cover right there.
Thank you, OG. Thank you.
No, seriously, that's insane. That's a sick. I saw that when Nigel, I think it was Nigel that brought it in, right?
Shout out to Nigel.
Nigel somewhere out there. Yeah, Nigel came ready.
You already know.
Yeah, Nigel came ready. So what should we expect from the new album? Is there anything you can tease us with?
I think it's gonna be a dope album.
T down. T. He walked the T down. That's the first time we hear the motherfucker say. But nah, ain't no T. You know what I'm saying? What it is though is big boy shit. Back on the throne, Ricky Rose. They know what I bring. Sound-wise, production-wise, collaboration-wise, and then the points that I make. And once again, it's set in stone. And it's challenging to be my best album ever. So you could pre-order the album right now, online, Set in Stone, June 12th. It's on the street.
Who's collaborating on this?
You will be offended.
You will be offended.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
Any major collaborations in this one?
It's always major. Everything I do is major. Big boy shit. My next single I'm going to drop is Living Large featuring Big X The Plug. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the sounds. I had my brother DJ Khaled and Dre from Cool and Dre. They was over. I played a few records for them, and, man, they were so excited. You know, some of the things that we've done, you know what I mean, in the past, and the music that I'm making right now is just, I'm happy the streets get to enjoy it. You know what I mean? The music.
I think that Ross makes great music. The joint with French Montana, somebody mentioned in the side of the chat. The joint with French Montana and Max B, it does go. But I like the original Master Ace, Born to Roll. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. Matter of fact, I'm going to date myself right now. I remember buying Born to Roll and not the Afro Puffs album, Rage. I think it was Rage. It was around the same time. It was Born to Roll. it was Rage's album, and it was also Twista's Adrenaline Rush. I think all of those albums came out relatively around the same time. And I remember I used to be bumping Master Ace, and it was cooling in my ride. Like I'm a hip hop head, and so I was always bumping Master Ace. So a lot of people not even familiar with Master Ace's Born to Roll. Black boy, turn that down. You know, you don't want to send the sound of the bass, go back to Africa. Y'all don't know nothing about that. So Master Ace is a legend. And I think that he picked the right sample. I think he picked the right beat. Rick Ross, in my opinion, is one of the greatest beat pickers of all time. And when I bump it in the rad, it go. It go. It absolutely go. So, yeah, man, the INC ride. Yeah, I love Master Ace. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. It was a gold album, and it had like the cover was gold, and it had like all of this bass and stuff on it and all of that. That was dope. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me read some of y'all super chats to see what y'all talking about. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says the biggest boss. Huh. Shout out to you. Me University says Drake just taking R. Kelly's place in the aisles. I don't even know what that means. Tabby, what up, Tabby? Says Anton, hypothetical. Person is in $70,000 in unsecured debt, owes $416,000 on a home, can sell the home for $650 to $700. If the person wants to sell the property to wipe out all of the debt and walk away with $100,000 in pocket, do you consider this a good move? I don't think that it's a bad move. What are you paying on the? Here's the question that you're asking yourself: what are you paying on the interest, and then what are you going to do with the rest of the money after you pay off? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think you should sell your property. All right. If anything, because the interest rate is probably the biggest problem, I think you should lock in, because you still got to buy another home. You know what I'm saying? And so I think you should just lock in and pay it off. Don't sell your property. Don't sell your property. It's only $70,000. $70,000. You can pay that off. Even if you wanted to get a second income, if you wanted to get another job, if you wanted to eliminate a couple vacations, no. Don't sell your home. It's only $70,000. And I would like to know more information about it. Like, I want to know what your interest rate is on your home. I want to know because you're never, like, let's say, for example, you got an interest rate that's around 3-4%. You don't want to get that up. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay in that space where you got a really, really good interest rate. You can figure out how to get to 70,000 and knock that out. So I wouldn't sell my home just to get rid of the debt, only to be paying more because you then got to finance a new home at a higher interest rate. You understand what I'm saying? So you're just going to have to buckle down. You're going to have to lock in. You're going to have to buckle down, and you're going to have to start knocking that junk out. And the more that you throw towards the principal, the lower your interest rate is going to be on the unsecured debt, and pay it off. Somebody says, yeah, but she owes $416 on a home. It doesn't matter what she owes on a home. The fact of the matter is you still got to refinance another home at a higher interest rate. You're still going to need a place to live. Worst case scenario, just pull it out of the house. I don't advise that you do that, because then you're going to have to refinance it at a higher interest rate. That's why I say I want to know what your interest rate is. But I just think you need to lock in. I think you need to lock in. What about renting? Do you not like? Well, here's the question, Tavi. Do you not like living in the house? Because a lot of people are stuck in the house based off of how much the house costs, what the interest rate is, but they don't even like the lifestyle of the house. Tavi, email me and let me get some more information. Email me and then let's get some more information. The reason why, Brown, is because you can't listen. When I hear these questions, I can't just make a snap judgment based off of something that somebody present to me. I need to know the details. I want to know what your interest rate is. I want to know how long your mortgage is for. If you have a second mortgage, what's the interest rate on the unsecured debt? What are your other expenses? What your income is? What your situation is in your relationship? Do you have help? I want to know all of the details before I give you some information, because I don't want you to be making a decision off of limited information. I can't just tell you, hey, this is what you got to do. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. You got a similar question, OG? I'm not just going to tell you something because I got to be responsible for the advice that I give you. All right. Gangu Roach says, I'm on a Delta first class on my way to Atlanta to have a meeting with Ray Daniels as you speak. Shout out to you, Gangu Roach. Shout out to you. Tell him I said what up, though. Philip Sadiq says, horrendous. Shout out to you. Chris Cunningham says, I've been aiding Ross with streams before aiding Ross ever streamed. Hey, I don't think if he ever said that he said that. He said, I forgot how he flipped that line. Reese says, I think Rick Ross is trying to downplay Drake to boost Drake back into album mode. Reason I say that is Ross isn't saying anything hateful. He's saying plenty of things hateful. What are y'all listening to? Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. I was born to roll. Black boy. Yeah. So y'all know about that. Y'all know about that. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel with turning on notifications. What else we got to go through? We did the landlord getting box. I might save the Mojo Brooks one. Well, let's talk about it, because I think I can get to at least 2 more subjects before we get up out of here.
So as we were talking, all right, let me show this to y'all. Talking about how small Arkansas is, I think a lot of these celebrities don't realize that either. Like, they don't be knowing their region. So, like, for instance, I tried to book Mojo Brooks for my birthday party in August. That motherfucker to come to Pine Bluff, Arkansas to have a party, like a little comedy thing.
Okay,
he said $45,000.
I don't blame him.
Hold on, let me back up for a minute. All right, Tabby, I got you. Let me hear this again.
Either, like, they don't be knowing their region. So, like, for instance, I tried to book Mojo Brooks for my birthday party in August. That motherfucker to come to Pine Bluff, Arkansas to have a party, like a little comedy thing. He said $45,000.
I don't blame him.
But I mean, but you gotta realize this. Like, in my mind, with me, if we rap hustling, comedy hustling, or whatever y'all want to call it, okay, what size is the area you in?
No, so he don't have to realize
you can get 45,000 in Chicago.
He don't
you can get
have to
45,000 everywhere else, but that's why we never have no bigger celebrities.
No, that's not something that's responsible for him. And you just said you have to invest into your craft.
But if I name
rap hustling, it don't matter. I don't care. Listen,
that's why you see Boosie book so much.
I don't give a damn what you talking about, Josh. You can take your ass on the side of the corner and ask for cans to pick up with 25 cents. I don't give a damn. If I tell you, hey, this is what I feel like I am worth. If you can't afford it, quit talking to me.
It's not about what you.
I don't give a damn about
what you are worth. If we see what you are worth, but as a promoter, we can't recoup off that.
Well,
you can't recoup off that.
So you feel like they should charge based off what you're able to make?
No, it should be charged based off where they're going and how small it is, like that.
That man told you he come. So you saying the size?
So as
Nobody want, but listen, maybe he don't want to even go to where you at. All right. So now that I got the full context, because I also seen Gary Owen. So let me show y'all what Gary Owen was saying.
I will say, speaking of Mojo Brooks, let me just give that man his flowers right now. Straight crushing it. He's got a new tour coming out in the fall. Tickets are going through the roof, and I just want to give him his flowers, man, because he's doing it all through stand-up. It's not he does the sketches and everything, and they're funny, but this is really at the core. His stand-up is what blew him up. It wasn't any talk show TV appearances. The sketches helped, but this is strictly a stand-up that blew up by his stand-up, and he's just taking off right now. And he's always good, and I think he's a sponge with the OGs, similar to Desi Banks, similar to DC Young Fly, the generation under me, so to speak. It's always good when they're always excited to see you. You can tell. Like, I've only been around Mojo a couple times, but every time it was just cool, love. It was all good. Same with DC, same with Desi. They're just good guys at the core. So I think he's the one right now that's having a moment.
You know Gary hustling because he in that hotel room. You know how I could tell when somebody is getting to the money, if somebody is really, really moving, if it got motion, is when they jump online and they be in a hotel room. I can always tell when people got motion is when they out in the streets, because they don't miss an opportunity to stream, or they don't miss an opportunity to drop a video or have conversations with you. But streaming from them hotel rooms, regardless of where you at, you got to get to it. You got to get to it. That's how you know somebody is getting money, is when if they're a content creator, and no matter where they go, they always got they got to turn on that camera, do what you got to do. I'm telling you, do what you got to do. That's how I know Gary Owen is getting money. It's because he's streaming from that. This is the standard look right here. Let me show you the standard hotel look. All of this right here. This is all standard hotel look, standard hotel room, TV that you never turn on. The desk by the TV is probably a bed over here by this little closet thing or whatever. That's the standard look right there. I got to the point in my life where I kind of hate hotel rooms unless it's a suite. I don't even want to stay there unless it's a suite. That's why I book more than one hotel room. I book one to work in, one to sleep in, whatever. I don't even want to stay in a hotel room unless it's a suite at this point, because it got to start feeling comfortable. It got to start feeling like home. I loved my hotel room in Manchester. Shout out to Manchester, bro.
And it's good to see. It's nice to see. Now, I did see, interesting, I don't know if it was on Mojo's page or somebody else's page. It came across my feed that there was a promoter, and it was so funny to me when you know people don't know what they're talking about. There was a promoter at Arkansas Pine Bluff, or I don't know if it was at Arkansas Pine Bluff. He was trying to get Mojo Brooks to Arkansas Pine Bluff. And Mojo's people and Mojo gave him a price. And he was like, that's too much. And then he goes on a podcast and tries to blast Mojo for charging too much for a show. He goes, man, we got 200 seats and I can't make no money.
First of all, let me say this. Because a lot of y'all that's watching this right now or restreaming it or looking at the clips or whatever, a lot of y'all are going to become successful, especially if you're a bag chaser. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. A lot of y'all are not going to be in the same place that you are today. You're going to be more successful. You're going to be a business person. Y'all going to be content creators. Y'all going to be, stock, real estate, all of the different things that we talk about. And y'all going to run up a bag. I want to give y'all some etiquette as a person that's been in the game for a while. I've booked people. I've done bookings. I've traveled to different places. I've done the meetups. Two things, all right? The first thing is, you want to know how I can tell if somebody got motion outside of the hotel room? Is that when you do an event, and anybody that's been to any of my meetups know, It's wall to wall. It's lit. It's a good time. When the people come out to see you, that's how you know you got motion. When the people come out to see you, that's how you know you have motion. That's number one. The second thing that you don't want to do, all right? You do not want to. That's how the man was talking on Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You do not want to.
I shall introduce you as my national minister. It will be a difficult task. Your assignment is to build temples all over this nation.
No, not want to. Best get out of my business. All right, no derailing.
And I just think
next thing that y'all don't want to do is the next thing y'all don't want to do is you don't, and this is a cardinal sin. Cardinal sin. Stop talking about people's prices. You do. That's what I'm going to start talking like, Slimmy. You do not ever disrespect the Muslim Brotherhood. Stop talking about prices. I don't know where people got that from. I don't know why that's a thing. I seen Vlad do it. I'm trying to refrain from talking about Vlad altogether because I just don't like him. Stop talking about prices that you're paying people or the prices that people name. It's not good business. It's never good business to publicly expose or talk about prices in any way, shape, or form. That's not kosher. Because the price that you get may be different from the price that he get, and you messing up his bag. Sometimes you may be getting a better price than that person get, and then you also are going to mess up the price, their future price, because you talking about prices. And it's more difficult for them to increase it as they gain popularity. And you may be getting a deal, but then this other person is going to be like, hey, man, why you charging him? That's the whole reason why the whole Boosie and 6ix9ine thing popped off in the first place. And Ari Spears, they all fell out over money. They all fell out over prices. Boosie wanted more money because Vlad was talking about how he paid this person this and he paid this person that. If you notice, I've never talked about the pricing that I give or that I may look out for people. Everybody not the same. People got to stop. That's not good business. It's never good business to talk about how much somebody else is making and you know how much somebody else is making. That's always cardinal sin number one. So he already played himself. The Josh, whoever the guy is, he already played himself.
You gotta be there for you can't charge that much money in a place like Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm trying to, build up the city and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, then get somebody that's cheaper and build it up from there. But you don't go for one of the big dogs and try to build it. But here's what any promoters out there, one, we don't owe you anything. You're hiring us for a job.
Facts.
Our price is our price. And here's the thing. If you don't have the seats, you don't have the seats. If you can't generate the revenue, you can't generate the revenue. But
right. So if you can't put together a business deal that makes sense for you, then you just can't hire him. His price is his price. Why do people sit there? When a contractor comes to me and he says, I say, hey, listen, I got this job and I want to do an excavation. I'm going to give an example. I need to do an excavation on this property. And how much are you going to charge me? And they say, okay, well, listen, let me go out there, let me survey it, let me look at it, and I'll give you my price. If they come back and they say, this is my price, they price is they price. I don't sit there and haggle over prices. I don't say, can you give me a discount? I don't say, well, there's more jobs to be done. I don't say, but the house isn't as big as the last one that we built. The price is the price. It just is what it is. And if you want to do business with them, then do business with them or not, find another contractor. Nobody owes you to do business. They don't have to consider your circumstances. They don't have to figure out what you got going on. They got hired for a job. This is what their price is. For you to sit there and talk to me like, oh man, you should have took less, and then go on the whole podcast and do, man, what the fuck is you? Guess what they don't negotiate with, who they don't negotiate with prices when it's time to pay up? They don't negotiate with their landlord. You don't negotiate with the mortgage company. You don't negotiate when you go and get the car that you want to get. You don't negotiate with the jewelers. Y'all like to buy all of the ice. The more they charge you, the more value you think you got out of it. You don't argue with the jeweler. You don't argue with nobody. You don't argue with that hoe. You don't say, hey, can I get a little head this time instead of a lot of head? Y'all don't, facts, you don't go into Louis Vuitton and say, hey, can I get that bag for a little cheaper? You don't argue with Goyard. Y'all don't say that in Balenciaga. But when it comes to somebody getting paid for their services, they got to travel, they got to pay their manager, they got to get their security, they got to get their hotel, they got to do all of these things. That's another reason why I don't even go and do interviews that often. Because it costs me money to fly out, and so it has to be beneficial as far as the exposure, because I have to fly out to you, right? Sometimes I may even tell people, all right, listen, just cover my security costs. You don't know what the cost is. I got to have an assistant. I got to have my team out there. I got to have security like the fucking president, right? I got to be fresh, which means I'm going to get a whole new hookup when I'm coming out there, because I'm not going to do no interview with no old stuff on. My cost, my price is my price. It cost me $20,000 to walk out the door. To go and do an event, it cost me $20,000 to walk out the door. It just is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that it's beneficial for you to come and have to pay the price that you got to pay the price. That means go and hire somebody else that's going to do it for $3,000 that's local. Go hire somebody else that's going to do it for $3,000 that's local. I got to fly there. I got to get my hotel rooms. I'm going to be there for a few days. I got to get the assistants. I got to make sure people is paid. They taking time off to travel with me. I got to get my security. I got to do all of these. We got to eat. We got to eat. I can't come and visit you to just come to your city just for the sake of it and be doing content. And so I know Mojo, it costs him a lot of money. And this is what he do for a living. But nobody cares about that. Nobody takes that into consideration.
Money to make money. And I know that in this business by doing my own shows and everything else. You have to spend money to make money. And people have a certain price because most of the time they've proven with a track record that you can make money off their name. And with this guy, like, it's not about how many seats you got. It's not about, oh, you should come and quote unquote help me. And basically you're asking, what this promoter was saying was, Mojo, save me, is what you were saying. Save me, man. Let me do this and save me and make me money and you know, help my business out. But Mojo doesn't get anything out of it. And he's got to get on a plane. And let me say, Arkansas pop-up is not the easiest place to get to. I did the college there years ago. There's not really an airport, you know, so you're going to have a layover or you're going to have to drive from Little Rock.
Sucks.
So he's taking time away from his family. He could be making money in another city, or he could just be rested. So I was a little like, and the girl on the podcast got it. She got it.
He did get it.
She was like, no, you cannot devalue that man's worth. And I was just looking at this dude talking like, you sound like an idiot.
And they want you to do a favor for them like you know them, like y'all friends. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let me tell y'all something. Have y'all noticed that whenever a rapper or entertainer goes to a city, let's say they on tour, right? Let's say they on a stadium tour, not a stadium tour, but let's say they on a tour or they're a part of a tour, right? And they'll say, all right, listen, checking in, you know what I'm saying? If you want me to come and shoot your content, you want me to drop features, you want me to do a walkthrough, hit me up, right? That's because their costs are mostly already baked in to whatever the cost is or whatever it is that they're making at the event that they're doing. Then they want to make some extra or capitalize off of it because we already going to be there. That means I don't have to separately fly there. I don't have to separately have security. I don't have to separately do this. I'm going to just tap down. And so I'm going to be here for the next couple of days. And so let's run it up as a result of it. That's why they're able to even give you a better price for what they do a lot of times when they come to your city. They're going to do an event. They're going to do, hey, this is the after party, this and that, so on and so forth, because they're already there. They're already there. And so because they already there, see, if Ross is on tour, I'm going to use Rick Ross as an example, right? Let's say Ross is on tour and Ross says, all right, yep, I'm doing an event here and I got the orchestra, whatever, so on and so forth. And then you book them for a separate event after that or a couple days after that. If you were to book him and say, all right, listen, I just want you're not on tour, and I want you to come to my event, then I see his plane in the background in the hangar. I know how much jet fuel costs. I know he gonna have to get the security and all of that. So now I'm gonna have to bake that in, or I'm gonna have to cover that cost, because to individually get him there and to get his plane juiced up, then to get the jets juiced up, and to get the pilots and the airline stewardess and his hotel and his security and his fee and his managers and his assistants, and he probably wants some trees and the bottles and all of that stuff, it's going to cost me a whole lot more. So what y'all going to have to do as a culture is you're going to have to start looking at it from their perspective, from a business line. And if you can't make the numbers make sense to where you can recoup your money and make a couple dollars, stop being a janky promoter, stop asking people to show up for your birthday, stop asking for favors, and do good business. And do good business. When I didn't have a whole lot of visibility and I didn't have over 1 million subscribers, now people are going to come on my platform because they looking to get visibility because I got motion, because I'm going to do millions of views, right? So now my costs aren't the same cost because I understand that people want to get that visibility. They may be pushing a product. They may want to get their platform off. And so you can't charge me for the visibility. I'm doing you a favor. It's different when you got motion. Whereas when I first started doing interviews and people said, Anton, you need to get this person on, you need to get this person on. I think my first interview that I did was Brittany Renner. It was like Brittany Renner. And so I had to pony up because they needed hotel rooms. They was going to be there for the next couple of days. They needed food. She had a manager, all of this stuff, right? She didn't know who I was right away. I only had like 100 and some thousand subscribers or something like that. They didn't know who I was. I had to get them there. I had to make sure that that's what she did for a living. That's how she ate. So I had to spend the money, and I had to look at it from an investor's perspective and say, is there a recoup, or is there a long-term benefit from it, or is it both? Does it give me more credibility? All of that type of stuff, right? Nope, I did Lamar Odom afterwards. Charleston White came afterwards. Brittany Renner was the first person that I did. And guess what? They said whatever their price is. I would never say whatever her price was at the time. It don't even matter how long ago it was. They said their price. I brought Love Dorsey here. Yep. I brought Love Dorsey here. That's true. The price was the price. And if you're not willing to pay it, then sit down. Sit down. Chill out. Some people more, some people less. Some people did it for free. Some people did it for free because they rock with me and they, you know what I'm saying? And they was just rolling and they wanted the visibility, but then I might have threw them something, or I might have threw them an alley-oop, or we might have did good business or whatever like that. I done had Rashad McCants on my platform. Shout out to my dog, A-Verb. I still cool with him. All of that. Pay the people they price. Whatever their price is their price. Stop complaining about the prices.
I would never work for you. One, why are you telling people what he said his price was? I mean, I would never do business with you again. I've had people call me for shows. And
yo, Gary, honestly, I haven't even seen this part of the interview. He just literally said what I said.
One, why are you telling people what he said his price was? I mean, I would never do business with you again. I've had people call me for shows and I'm like, this is what the price is. And it's funny when they, oh, come on, man. I'm like, dude, that's what the price is. What don't you want me to say? It's no different than these athletes. You work so hard and you perform and, you want to get paid when it's time to get paid. Comedians were independent contractors, man. You want me to get on a plane, to go do a show, to leave the family, to it's more wear and tear on the body. It's got to be worth my while.
That's a fact. It's only one interview that I missed out on that I was unwilling to pay the price, and I wish that I had. I don't regret it, but I can see the benefits of it now. It's only one interview that I missed out on that I had the opportunity to get first, and I didn't see the vision, and I missed out on it, and I passed up on it, but I should have spent the money. It's only one. Can y'all guess who it is? I'm going to give y'all 1 minute, and if somebody guesses who it is, I'll send you $100 cash app. I'm not going to even acknowledge it until I see it. Unless I see it, I'm going to give 1 minute. I'm looking at the timer right now. I don't see none of it. If I see it, I will hit you off with it. I don't see it. Not yet. I don't think y'all going to guess it, to be honest with you. I'm not giving no hints. If I see it, I'm going to tell you, but I don't see it yet. I don't see it. Y'all not going to get it. Y'all not, I can't believe y'all not gonna get it. No, I can't just say it until the timer is up. Nope. 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 All right, since nobody got it. All right, nobody got it. All right, time is up. Time is up. Nobody got it. The interview that I passed on, because I didn't want to pay the price, and this was before he started getting the type of motion that he's getting now, is Mike Beasley. It's Michael Beasley. That's the one that I passed on. Yep, it's Michael Beasley. That's the one that I had passed on, and it's before he had ever blew up, before the big three, before Shannon Sharp, before any of that type of stuff. It was Michael Beasley. Yep. Michael Beasley, the former NBA player that went on Shannon Sharp and all of that stuff. A lot of women may not be familiar with him, but it was Michael Beasley. Yep. Yep. That was the one. That was the one that I wish that I had did, but I didn't do. And I figured somebody might have said it, but if somebody was going to say it, Slim said I would have talked you into that one. Yo, listen, let me tell y'all something. It's a bunch of them that I actually passed up on. Because I was like, it's a bunch of them that I actually passed up on. I might have to double back now. I'm feeling like I'm about to get into my interview bag. I feel like I'm about to get into my interview bag, so. When is a Stephen A. Smith interview? I'm waiting until basketball season is over before I start talking to Stephen A. Smith. So I got that. I got that in the tuck. It's a favor. It's a favor that I got in my back pocket. You don't always execute immediately. See, I see Stephen A. doing a lot of content right now, so I'm gonna wait until everybody's content is not as popping, and then that's when I'm gonna execute. Hey, Steve, I need that favor, big dog. I need that favor. You don't always want to do it when everybody else is doing it. You want to do it when something is happening that's relevant that you want to have a conversation about. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I recently seen an interview with Officer Tatum. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Yep. You get it, Fi Brown. You get it, Fi Brown. All right, let me read some of these super chats and I'm gonna get y'all up out of here because I gotta go and I need to go get the lamb. I need to go I need to shave. I got a lot to do today. Armand, shout out to Armand, says, peace, AD. Did you like Master Ace's Disposable Arts album and do you listen to Isaiah Rashad? I think it was cool. I think it was all right. I like Born to Roll the most out of anything Master Ace I've ever seen. And do I listen to Isaiah Rashad? No, I don't really listen to Isaiah Rashad. Not my thing. Or maybe I just haven't listened to enough of his music to actually listen to a whole project. PS Car Washing Detail Services, Big Dog Head Frat. Shout out to TS. Fletcher says, AD, do you have experience with ARK investments? That's the girl, the lady, the white lady. She the one that's always speaking about it. ARK investments, I'm considering moving some of my funds because they have the SpaceX holdings and the IPO looks intriguing to me. We'll talk about it on Saturday. All right. Any questions that y'all might have from a stock perspective, stock club investment perspective, we'll talk about it on Saturday. I'll do a Q&A after I talk about it. And, you know, I'll usually answer questions while we're doing the stock club anyway. So I'll talk about it, Fletcher. Ray Sean says Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you. Shout out to my dog, Ray Sean. That's my favorite Bible verse. Ray Sean knows this. Ray Sean knows that that's my favorite Bible verse. Shout out to my greatest student, Ray in the building. What up, Ray? TS Car Washing Detail Service says, just look at the comedians go on tour by themselves. Example, the people that saw Marlon Wayans, Mike Epps, D. Ray, and Michael Blackson was solo and sold out. Yeah, Soulja Boy always doing videos, features, shout-outs, videos with your product. He stay hustling. Thoughts on Max B and the Big Daddy Kane situation? I'm not familiar with the Big Daddy Kane and Max B situation. AD, you should have a couple of the Hoopers do a pod. That would be dope. Yeah, that would be smart. That would be smart. I don't think that that's a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all. So we'll see. Lots of new information coming up. I think I locked in a date for the Patreon meetup. It's a lot that's about to be happening. So we about to get to it, y'all. About to get to it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna see y'all tonight on After Hours. Peace.